That's great. That was the worst clapping I've ever had on my 99-cent app ever. We're live on CrossFire. What's up, everybody? It's Friday night, and we are excited to be here, man. Awesome stuff. Awesome panel tonight, guys. And, I got to be honest with you. We just had such an amazing pre-show. And with Xbot had broke some news to us, and it makes everything so much better. It makes us all happy to kind of be here and be able to talk games tonight. Let me do some quick intros, and then we'll get into the topics at hand. Let me start with the one, the only, Crap Gamer. Crap, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Peace and love, man. We all one love here. It's fantastic. Another day.
Absolutely.
You can't really complain. We're live, we're breathing, we're gaming. It's a phenomenal time to be alive. Very happy with the way things are going, man. Just happy to be here, man. Happy. Let's get to the rest of this amazing panel, man. I know that they've got some terrific opinions about today's topics, which, by the way, are just phenomenal. Mooch, you did a great job.
I wrote them myself.
You did a great job. I know, man. You did such a wonderful job with those. I can't wait to talk about them, man. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I feel like the Bob Ross of topics of podcasting. Thank you. That's outstanding. That's probably one of the best reverse intros of all time. Thank you, Crap. I appreciate that.
For sure, bro.
Singular bombastic boom, boom. You are known as officer friendly, but I'll tell you this much. You can't be happier than this panel right now and being here tonight. How you doing tonight, brother?
That's great. First of all, I look forward to Friday evenings. It's always a lot of fun. We talk about the hottest topics in gaming, always a great panel. And your topics, again, they're a little long in the arm. I don't know if we're going to get to every one of them.
No.
Usually we'll probably get to 3.
Sounds about right. But you know what?
Where's the positivity? We're going to get through all
That is
of them,
positive.
people.
If you get to 3, it's a hell of a show. That's a hell of a show. That being said, I've got Xbot 448. Xbot, how the hell are you tonight?
Yo, what is going on, everybody? What is going on, chat? It is great to be here on Crossfire. Again, as usual, it is the start to the weekend. This is where all the gamers need to be. So people out there, you got to smack that thumbs up. You got to share this out because, YouTube doesn't do the job. But I think we can do it. We can do it, right, guys?
We can definitely do it. Hit that like button. Guys, tweet it out. Let people know we're here, will you? It's Friday. YouTube doesn't do it for us. This is America. You got to work for it. You got to go out there and click that button. That being said, we got 2 very special guests here tonight. These are guys that have been on the show, and you can ask them yourselves if you don't believe me. I love having these guys on. They're opinionistic. They always speak their minds, and to be honest with you, they know the information. They know what they're talking about. I'll start with the one, Slow-Mo backstop. Slow-Mo of actually Scumcast, my New York Lucas podcast. Slow-Mo, so great to have you back here. How you been?
Man, I've been doing pretty good. Actually, pretty awesome. I actually got my PSN name change that I've been asking for like 6-7 years.
Oh, we're going to talk about that, Slow-Mo. And me and you had some great conversation today on Twitter about it. But I got questions, and I'm wondering if you can answer them. So we're going to get to that tonight, and I appreciate you being here.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
And then I've got my buddy here, Dark Goldblum. And let me tell you something. You know what he should be? He should be Happy Goldblum from now on. Because this guy just brings a smile to the panel. Goldblum, how the hell are you? Welcome back.
Good, man. I'm happy to be here. Ready to get into these topics, dude.
Well, let me do this. I love it when someone sets up a segue, and Slow-Mo did that for me. You guys all know this. While the crowd kind of trickles in before we get to the meat and potatoes, one of the small things that you see a lot of YouTubers are doing videos on, and the media covered it. And I got to give the media credit. Here's something you don't hear me say very often. A lot of the media said, listen, the PSN name changes are out there, but hold on, do your due diligence, look at everything, read everything, and then make a decision consciously. Now, me and Slow-Mo went back and forth, and also shout out to Lord Cognito of the Iron Lords podcast. The 3 of us were kind of going back and forth because I know that Lord Cognito and Slow-Mo both changed their PSN names in the past 24 to 48 hours. And I was concerned because I'd done some reading on it, and both of the guys said, I did it. No issues. Everything seems good. Now, I said, Slow-Mo, I believe you, of course. But I said, have you checked? I know you got a decent PS library of games. Have you checked everything? And he goes, no. But, Slow-Mo, don't let me put words in your mouth. What did you think? What was your experience like in the Switch? And have you found out if there were any issues, any hiccups?
Well, look, I was going to switch anyway because I got tired of being #1 NSYNC fan, 2828. So I was just like, I'm switching. I just got to go. You're playing games. I can't play anything, multiplayer because people just laugh at you the whole time. So I got done with that. I'm like, I got to be Slow-Mo backslap all the way around. So it was going to happen regardless. I was like, if I lost all my trophies, so be it, damn it. So I go make the change. And first off, I forgot that Sony is extremely like conservative and we don't like those kind of names. Like they don't like slow-mo backslap. So I had to trick it, the system, and put the scores in between each syllable. So I got my name in there. It just looks extra long. But first thing I checked was my trophies. My trophies are good.
Absolutely.
I don't got that many trophies anyway. I think I got like 400. It's not that much, but they're all there. Awesome. Started checking the 3 games that I looked on the list that said that had some issues. Uncharted 4, Warframe, and can't remember the last. The Last of Us Remastered. So I just booted them up just to make sure that, like,
yes, absolutely,
I could actually play them, and it wasn't like showing my old name or anything. Everything looked good. I said, okay. Now, bear in mind, if you look at all the information they give you, it's like, okay, so basically everything since God of War should be good. Which
that's correct.
God of War came out a year ago, so basically, like a fraction of the PlayStation library should be good to go, which is not that appealing. And I understand why a lot of people are just like, you know what? I'm just going to be Donkey Punch. I'm just going to be Donkey Punch for the rest of my life because I'm just not going to do that. Like, there are people talk about like they couldn't log back in after they changed it, and they freaked out for a moment. They had to restart the PlayStation. Like, oh man, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. And Cognito seems like he's good too. Now, I haven't played all my games yet. I haven't booted up everything yet, but like I said, I was tired of my old name. I wanted everything universal. I had to do the change. I was waiting for this for forever. So yeah, like I know some of the people out there are like, you know what? If you play, I know. Let me say it like this: there's some guys that they play primarily on Xbox, of course, and then they only play their PlayStation games for the exclusives.
Right.
And once they play the exclusives, they don't care no more. They just don't play the game. No, they don't play those games anymore. Like me, for example, I'm never playing God of War again. I loved it. It was great. Once I finished,
I'm kind of there with you.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. So I know I'm never going back to that game. If that's you, go ahead and make the change because it's not your primary console, and you're not really going to like go back to those older games anyway. If that's how you feel. So, but if that's your primary system, you got all these trophies. Like, just imagine, like on Xbox, if changing your Xbox name meant you lost like half your game score, your gamer tag score. Like, imagine that. Like, that would be like, damn, I'm not losing half of all the work I put in. So that's how like some places you people are thinking about it, and I completely get it. But yeah, like I said, I had to make the change because I don't like NSYNC no more. I got tired of people telling me.
I don't blame you. I got to be honest with you, Slow-Mo. Right now, you could have been on a soapbox in Vegas, and I would have been standing down below looking up at you. I'd be like, preach! Because what you just said makes a lot of sense. And I mean, listen, it's an Xbox-centric show, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of in that camp too. And I said that God of War is my 2018 game of the year, okay? It is what it is. I truly enjoyed. That was the game I wanted to go back to the most in the duration of playing that game. But as Slow-Mo just said, I don't feel like at this point in time, with the backlog that I've got and the plethora of games I'm playing currently and the games we know coming out in the next even 4 to 6 weeks, that I would jump back into God of War. So right now, what Slow-Mo saying to you is, if you have a name that you consider, and only you consider, undesirable to yourself, why not take that free change that they're offering right now? Because frankly, certain games that if you're just an exclusive person, you may not want to jump back into that, and it's a safe bet. Is there anybody else on the panel that's thinking about changing their name?
Well, Mooch, I'll tell you, I did.
What do you got?
I did it.
I did it.
You did it? Goldblum, you did it?
I did it.
You held it secret this whole time, these whole 10 minutes? I didn't know.
Did you hear how he said like he just got a vasectomy?
Yeah,
Well,
right?
You don't know Slow-Mo. I did, okay? No, I had to, man. I wanted that universal, like Slow-Mo was talking about. I wanted to have that universal name, across the board. But I was actually what I was trying to do.
Baked 420.
Shut up.
Before that.
Shut up. I wanted to do either Dark Otter, Dark Goldblum, Angry Otter, Angry Goldblum. Couldn't get
I
any of
like
those.
Angry Otter. I think that's a win.
I couldn't get any of those, so I went to, of course, the old, Dark Optimus.
Well, we know
I
it's
didn't.
you, Goldblum. It's fine.
Yeah, it's me. And I haven't had any issues with it. They just allowed me to do it, and I didn't have any issues. I didn't lose any trophies. I didn't see anything that wasn't not there. So, I mean, I think I'm good, but I did do it on somebody else's PS4 and not my home PS4, so I gotta kind of look at that and see.
So you're not sure, really?
Right, I'm not sure yet.
I mean, it's a safe bet, but you don't know 100%.
Right, exactly. So, but for them to do this, it's about damn time.
Right.
Especially since, if you got a name like 420 or something like that, you probably should change that by now. Like,
nobody knew back in the day.
So you're saying what
Married.
you're saying is Bull Puncher 69 should be changed immediately.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, if you're 40 years old and you're still rocking that name, you might want to change it. And then, especially like with all the games that are coming out, like I don't know anybody. I mean, I know people who do go back and play the games of old, like, Persona 5, God of War, things like that. But I'm more of a gamer that's just like, I'm going to move forward. I've already played these games. I've already beaten them. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to get, the next game, whatever comes out. So that's why I changed my name, because I was just like, whatever.
I got to say, Immortal in the chat, he says, Mooch, hypocritical, man. If you have a game of the year, you play it a lot in the year. Even with a backlog, you play your favorite game of the year. Immortal,
That's not true.
I just don't see that being true. I got news for you. A lot of people say all time, what's one of your favorite games? And when I say this, I'm really going to date myself. So everybody put your seatbelt on, please. But I really like Final Fantasy 2. It's one of the first games that actually I could say.
Jesus.
Well, I know. Take it easy. Goldblum right now is looking up Google. He's like, was there games in black and white back then? Listen,
what's Final Fantasy 2?
What is it? It's great. That's what it is. But let me tell you something, all right? I hate you with
I'm probably about to date myself as well. Don't you mean the Japanese Final Fantasy 4?
No.
Ooh.
No.
That's pretty good.
But I know what you mean. But no, this was on the SNES.
Oh, you mean the actual Final Fantasy 2?
Yes, the actual Final Fantasy 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm going
in
back.
the States, not in Japan.
My point being to Immortal is, no, I don't go back and play some of my favorite games because, listen, I got news for you. It's a different world when you and this goes for everybody. And even you guys in the chat, it doesn't mean you have to be on YouTube. It doesn't mean you have to be on any of these shows. When you get into what have you done for me lately? That means you're following what the gaming media is saying. You're saying what your favorite YouTuber. It doesn't matter what it is. Like your favorite streamer. You're keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, the other day, Ninja was playing Sekiro. That just tells you something. He's streaming
he's trying to keep up with you, Mooch.
Well,
no.
Listen, I got news for you. I trend when I can. I like that. Somebody make me a shirt. That being said, like, it is what it is. So what happens is like, we say it all the time. I'll be honest with you. I'll even tell Boom, I would have liked to play Resident Evil 2 remake probably another 8 times like you did.
Yeah.
And I can't go back to it again. It's hard. There's so many games. I'm trying to level up.
It is. You really gotta play through a lot of these titles. Again, it's a shame. Like the Division. I'm only at gear score 350, I think it is, and it's like my brother Neo Mental's like at 500. Why did I stop playing? Because I can't stop playing Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition. I beat the game last week. I'm level 44, I think, right now. I'm about to cap out at 50, and I'm playing through the DLC. And I got news for you. It's so amazing, and it's obviously it's the OG looter shooter. I may pick up, because I have them, I just haven't played them. I may start playing 2 right after and go right into the pre-sequel and just completely do the trilogy this year before we get Borderlands 3.
Yeah, that's my game plan.
Wait a minute. So you're saying you're going to wait and then do Game of the Year, then 2, then go into 3?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you something, and it's not to debunk it by no means, Boom, but I've tried to do this a number of times. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm playing Game of the Year right now. I'm having an absolute field day. We talked about it pre-show. I'm going to play Borderlands 2 sometime between now and that summer swoon. Kind of work it in.
That actually might work. That's
Right?
probably a
Hear
better
me out,
plan.
Boom. I'm telling you, you're going to like this.
Yeah.
It gives you that little bit of buffer between each one, so you're still excited. Because let's be honest, and Crap, you talked about this too on M&C. You know, Borderlands is Borderlands, right?
Yeah, yes, it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
It's
you know,
great.
it's the looter shooter, like the looter shooter that
It's the original
invented
looter
it all.
shooter,
Yeah,
in
man.
air
You
quotes.
You got to give it the props that it deserves, man. And
But
it's
3 in a row is a lot, Crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it
Play
depends,
3 in a
man.
row,
There's-
it's a lot.
I mean, you know, 3 pizzas. I mean,
Leave
there's
pizza
3.
out of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, threes.
Starving.
Good things come in 3s, man. Come on.
They
Hey,
do.
Crap,
You know,
how do you
I
feel
do.
about
I do
Destiny
have to
2, Crap?
wonder.
What's
I
that,
do have to
Slowmo?
wonder that. Do you guys have the Handsome collection?
Yes.
I sure do.
Yeah.
I've never even played it though.
Well, but see, this is what I'm going to do. When I finish the Game of the Year edition, I'm going to the pre-sequel first.
Oh, nice.
Then I'm going to do Borderlands 2, all of its DLC, and then I'm going to do
All
Tales
right,
of the Borderlands
Slow-mo,
at the
listen,
end.
all right, I'm putting this out there publicly, and I'm putting Slow-mo on the hot seat.
Okay.
Slow-mo, I've played Borderlands, okay, whether Game of the Year or going back to 09, I've played that. I've played Borderlands 2 in its entirety. I have only played about an hour and a half of the the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
I've only played about an hour and a half of that because the moon jumping thing, it got on my nerves in a hurry. However, I like where you're going with this. If you play the game, I gotta play that with you. I gotta get on that with you because when you do that, I need people. You know, you gotta play with friends on that. I don't recommend playing the pre-sequel alone, not unless you got like a lifetime supply of Vibrant. You know what I mean? That'll put you to sleep. We need to laugh about it because they do have some comical things with Handsome Jack. But without friends, man, it gets boring, and it gets boring in a hurry. I mean, what do you guys think? You know, it is
Guys,
one of the top. Go ahead, Spot.
No, I think I clicked the wrong Hangout link. I didn't know this was a Borderlands podcast, man.
It's
Oh,
certainly
you
not a
didn't know that?
Destiny podcast.
Do you mind if
that's
I hang
for
out
sure.
though? Like,
Yes, you can. Wait, Xbot, what's your problem with Borderlands? Speak your mind.
no, just for me, I don't know. I gave it a try. I didn't get into it. The environment didn't captivate me.
Did you play it by yourself or did you play it with?
No, I played it by myself.
Yeah, I would say like I've started playing Borderlands by myself and it sucked. I would definitely suggest playing it with
But
with
hold on,
friends.
but Crap. See, the whole thing is like the way I am. Like I can play Destiny 2 by myself and I'm fine. Like I went through the story mostly by myself. The environment, the lore caught me. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of pulled me through. Like I really wanted to see the end of that story and everything like that. And then when I tried Borderlands, and I know I'm probably going to get some hate in the chat for this, guys. I'm not saying you know for you not to like your game. I'm just saying in my opinion, like it just didn't grab me. So I'm happy for you guys, but it's just not my.
Well, that's what a lovely way to put it, man. He's happy for the people that like it. That's great, man.
Yeah,
Love,
it's just not my thing. You know,
peace, love. I love it, man. Good on you, Bot, man. God bless, bro. God bless, man. God bless.
You know, I wonder if
bless,
it's
bro.
because it's the Game of the Year edition, and they did do some quality of life.
Oh
like,
my God,
you know,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great, but it still is that same old gameplay from 2019.
Yeah, it is.
Like.
And same story and everything. So it's
Same-
like, why would you want to go back to that? I don't personally get it. I honestly do not get that why you guys would want to go back and play that game. I know it's a beloved game. I know it's something that you know takes you back, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I know.
Sure is.
Mooch. But for me, it's just like I just couldn't go back to that game, man. Like it's just I'm playing Sekiro right now, and I'm playing
Great game.
the Division 2, and I'm just like I'm having fun with those. I'm like when this came out and when this was announced, I was just like, oh, whatever, you know. I'm waiting for Borderlands 3. You know, I'm
gonna
waiting for
no
that.
like Mortal Kombat when it comes out. So like as of April 23rd, when you see me on Xbox Live, you already know what.
You say Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Injustice 2, Injustice 1, Mortal Kombat 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those didn't do it for you?
Yeah. Well, Mortal Kombat X was really good. But
This has got an extra cup of blood, I heard.
No. The graphics.
What am I missing?
The graphics
graphics
are
have been
improved like
Oh my
crazy.
god, dude! It looks
and
crazy.
Even the gameplay itself, they slowed it down, but they made it deeper. Like the combos are a lot smoother. It's not as jagged.
I
like
usually
they
take
flow
podcasting
into
very
each other.
seriously, Xbot, but I'm playing a little Mortal Kombat right now.
No, it sounds like you're typing on a mechanical keyboard, like
No,
what Snaps does.
what I'm
You sound like K Mega on Next.
What I'm doing right now, what I'm doing right now is actually stepping on a controller. Listen, listen. I love Mortal Kombat. You guys,
That was a good one, Mooch.
Thank you.
Man.
I do what I can. But I love Mortal Kombat. I played probably Mortal Kombat when it was first originally released on the SNES and Genesis. I played it till my fingers bled.
I
But
played
gotta
on the
be honest with
Genesis
you,
because
right?
you had
Real
the blood.
blood.
Yeah, the
Naturally.
real
Yeah,
blood.
that was probably the only blood going on.
It was.
Considering it was sweat back then.
It was,
Yeah.
but I mean, let me go down. Xbot. That wasn't a topic, but it is a topic we need to talk about. I'll start with Slow-Mo. Are you into this Mortal Kombat like phenomenon that's going on right now?
Not really, man. I haven't been into fighting games since high school.
That's
so,
been me too. That's what I'm saying. It's been so long.
Are you trying to say I'm immature, man?
No, not at all.
No.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's a lot of people excited about this game. It does look fantastic.
Are you in on it, crap?
No, I mean, it looks like Mortal Kombat to me, and I didn't really spend that much time on the last one, so it's a no. Plus, I got some of the other games that
There's a ton of games out
in the back, and there's a ton more coming. You know what I mean? We've
Days
got
Gone comes out like 3 days after.
yeah,
that, so it's
yeah.
like-
A Days Gone. I'm gonna be wrapped up in for a little bit. That game looks absolutely
It does
gorgeous.
look great.
Yeah, that new trailer really kind of. Yeah, I mean, I'm really pulling for Sony Bend. That's an underdog studio coming out with something ambitious. Late new IP in the generation, and it looks great.
What's the ambitious about it, man?
I mean, just that studio was doing PSP or Vita games, and now they're doing this big AAA new IP.
The scope of the project is what you're saying.
Oh, dude, you can't be like that, man. You got to be love, bro.
No, I'm
It's like-
wondering what you meant by ambitious, brother.
It looks. I mean, it's an open world type game.
Be
You ride a
blurred, bot.
motorcycle.
Be blurred.
It's got 500 enemies on screen at once. I think that's pretty ambitious. So
It is.
Generation, too many graphic hookers out there. Yo, that game looks insane. And they
Graphic
mean
hookers?
graphically.
it looks well. It's not just graphically. Here's the thing. I thought it looked incredibly generic at first, and
He
I
did.
think
Crap
now,
was pretty down on Days Gone.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
but
thought it was just
they-
gonna be generic.
they
Like,
fixed it. The guy was just like, I'm angry, and now he's more of a character in the
He has
newer
more
game.
personality.
Yeah, so I like that. They really paid attention to what people were saying and fixed it. They delayed it. The delay seems to have been good for it. It has a collector's edition with the statue, dude. I'm in.
yeah. Well, Boom's gonna be doing a 360 spin around of that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
assume.
definitely doing an unboxing for that.
Hold
But I'm
on,
also
Mortal Kombat.
yes,
That comes
I'm
with Scorpion
Mooch.
Mask.
I know you're getting that too. That's true, Boom.
Yes, I cannot wait. That's gonna.
Oh, sorry,
that's
I
gonna.
apologize.
I mean, look. All I can say is this. And in regards to what Crap is saying, I agree with him. I think I'm gonna put. It's gonna be a 30-hour romp at least. Easily in Days Gone. Again, with everything that we've seen, it's still hard to understand exactly what kind of a game it is. Now, it's a game that's right up my alley. It's got zombies.
Yep.
It's got, it's got hordes.
Yep.
You're riding a motorcycle.
Yep.
It's check. It has a story. What Sony is known for when they're in their, single player games, they have a real good story. But is it going to be like, State of Decay 2? Are we scrounging around for motorcycle parts?
Dude. There's no way that game's gonna be like State of Decay 2.
You know what's funny?
State of Decay 2 was so terrible.
Don't get us
No
started on that,
comment.
Goldblum. Yeah, but you know what, Boom? Let me tell you something. I was having this conversation with Goldblum in the pre-show before anybody showed up. He was the first one to pop into the panel here. And Boom, what do you think though, from what you've seen, that this game is it gonna be more like a Horizon Zero Dawn where you have to go out and fetch quests, or is it gonna be more the last of it?
Yeah, no, I think it's actually, I think it might be a combination of both, but I think I'm leaning towards a more of a Horizon Zero Dawn approach because the world seems very open. You're on your bike and you're just running from these things. We've seen really large open areas. So, is it open world? Yeah, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Or is it an open world in a closed area that you get to at different parts of the game? I'm not exactly sure. Either way.
I'm hearing from a couple of testers or whatnot that the game is actually monotonously repetitious. Like,
Now, see,
yeah.
Xbot, I got to tell you something. Now,
Yeah, but
that,
you gotta-
I
you
think
gotta
you're
look at
dating
that.
yourself there. That was early on. I've heard now that it's been a lot more fun to play. And yes, don't get me wrong. I can see when you get into the later part of the game, maybe, but that happens a lot in a lot of games.
But
yeah.
you also got to realize that when you're talking about a tester, they're usually doing something 100 times in a row for a long period of time. So you can't really go by a tester what they're
Great
saying
point,
because of the
Goldblum,
fact
man.
that
You really
they
nailed that one, man. I just
True,
wanna
actually,
say
right.
that is an amazing point. Right on, right where you needed to be with that, man. That's
I hate you, crap.
what I mean, dude.
Why would you hate? There's no room in this world for hate.
Amazing. That was something that most people don't think about is when you do game test, and I've done a little bit of that in my life. You are very much doing like something over and over and over and over again, and so
Right.
that could be a little bit repetitive. But what game isn't, guys? I mean, but if you're having fun with something, who the hell cares? You know what I mean? Like a hack and slash game, you hack and slash the whole game, but you still like the game, right? So I mean, I think that it's just one of those things where you got to just play the game, have fun if you want, and if it's not your bag, baby, then don't
It's
play.
not.
It.
That's right.
I just, it's just, that's all I'm saying.
I
Man.
mean,
We're all
honestly,
different,
guys,
we're all
I'm
different
honestly,
types
guys,
of
at the end
gamers
of the
here,
day,
guys.
I'm a moth.
I mean,
Xbot, I'm a moth to the flame when it comes to zombie games.
I know you are, Mooch. That
I
is
saw
like,
that, and I
that is
I
your
had to have it.
kryptonite right
You know,
there,
Mooch,
brother.
can I just say something real
ahead.
quick? You know, you talked about zombies. I did a tweet earlier. I'm not sure. This is right up your alley. There's something on Netflix that launched in the middle of the week. It's called Black Summer.
Talk to me, Boom.
It is a zombie miniseries. It is in freaking incredible. The missus and I were watching it just up till we started the show. We started last night. My God, it's terrifying. It really is an unbelievable tale because it's changing perspectives from different people that all eventually meet up. It's done. It should win awards. It's done so well.
Everybody
That's
stay tuned
interesting,
for
Boom, because
Boomstick's new show appearing on his channel, Updates of Netflix,
Updates on
starring,
Netflix.
starring him and the missus, and they're gonna go in and let you know what's good to watch.
I
Hey, listen,
appreciate
that might
that.
work. That actually, I'm gonna put that in my thinker cap.
There you go, brother.
I gotta say, shout out to Brutal, who I game Apex with, and Boom as well. And there was somebody else. I can't remember if it was Zoot or who it was, but gave me the lead to go watch Umbrella Academy, and I could not stop. I literally, I listen, with working during the week, it was so hard. I watched like four episodes straight, then 2 episodes straight. I didn't want it to end. And when I saw the tweet come out last week that said that Umbrella Academy is getting renewed, I said, holy shit, I'm pumped. I can't believe it. I can't believe I like it that much. It's the cast. The whole cast comes together. And shame on me, because I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I can't wait for this Sunday, by the way.
Yes.
Right?
But that being said, I can't believe that Luther from Umbrella Academy was one of the Lannisters. I forgot all about that until I'm rewatching season 7 right now to get ready for 8. I can't believe it's the last season. I don't even want to talk about it. How could you do this to us? Seinfeld had more seasons. So did Cheers. People in the audience right now are looking up Cheers. All right, listen. Let's get to our next topic. Crap, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit because I know you got the list. I know Boom has the list too.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it a little bit. It's the Xbox E3 leak that came out, okay? What do you call it there? Crap was talking about it in depth on Xbox Nation. Crap, what do you think at the Xbox E3 leaks that have come out? Do you think we can kind of hold a little closer to our hearts versus far stretched?
A lot of that is, common sense stuff.
That's what I thought.
Exactly.
It's like you're gonna hear, like we're gonna see Gears because that comes out this year. We're gonna see Halo because they're gonna want to hype people up about that and actually show it off. We're gonna see
the Ninja Theory game.
We're gonna see the new hardware and the streaming stuff. Like that's just stuff and we're gonna see third party stuff because they're the only game in town where you can show stuff off. And we might, if the Ninja Theory game is indeed 18 months or closer, we'll definitely see it. So, and I think we might see another studio acquisition or two. So I think that there's a lot of cool stuff to be excited about with what they're going to do. What they have to understand is, or Microsoft has to understand is, now's the time to strike when the iron's hot. You have no competition. You gotta go out there and not beat yourself up over it. You've got to go out there and get people excited and get people wanting to be on board with you for new hardware. Because next year, and I've said this multiple times, we're seeing it right now. I just saw Actress leaks Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Sony's going to come back to E3 next year with a plethora of high-profile exclusives, probably Spider-Man 2 and some new stuff as well. And people are it's going to overshadow a lot of what Microsoft does if Microsoft does indeed decide to wait a year before talking about anything new, right? So Microsoft has to get out there, strike while the iron's hot, get people excited. Everybody's interest is peaked right now. So you have the perfect time because everybody's watching because there's no Sony there, right? So the Sony fans are watching. You can win people over by having a killer show. And I'm hoping that's what they do, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have up their sleeves, man. They obviously got to be paying attention to what people are saying.
Yes.
Hopefully they're paying attention to the criticism as well as the championing of that happens with them. But, I think it's important to kind of pay attention to both, in my opinion. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have. And I think everybody else is it's going to probably be break records for watches, right? Like people are just going to watch.
Agree, crap.
And, so they got to realize strike now,
Well, I'll tell you this much. Lethal Papa made a hell of a point right now in the chat. He said Sony not being there is a bust. And I'll tell you something, Lethal, you're right. But it concerned me a little bit. It concerned me a little bit there. And Boom, I'll go to you first. Do you think a little bit of the fire might be removed from the oven because Sony's not there? Or do you think Microsoft's going to come out with furious anger?
No, I think that this is I think Phil Spencer understands. You got to remember when Sony immediately came out, when they came out and they said that they were skipping E3, Phil Spencer immediately tweeted that E3 was important. To Microsoft, that they'll be there. That was a direct jab. Maybe it was a soft jab, but it was a jab nonetheless.
Right.
And you have to understand, Microsoft right now is in third place.
Yes.
Everyone's aware of that, and they don't want to be in third place anymore. They want to be in first place. But they also want to make money, and that's what they're currently doing now. But it would be better, and it'd make more money as if they were in first place, and they have an opportunity, a golden opportunity. You got to remember, this is like the stars aligning for Microsoft. You look back to when you look at Microsoft post E3 2018, it has been a plethora of good announcements, studio acquisitions, Game Pass is doing well, the amount of talent that's being picked up by the initiative. There's a lot going on to be excited about. And he knows this. I mean, listen, Phil's you got to remember, besides being a businessman, he also deals in common sense. He's a gamer. He's a human being. He understands that a large part of the community has been disappointed. And people want to love Xbox, and they want to come back to it.
But Boom, would you agree with me when I say this? It's time to show the goods.
This is again. Maybe I'm being a little long-winded, and I apologize for that. But the reality is that they have no choice.
Right.
Everything has been, like I said, the stars have aligned. There's the path. All they have to do is walk the path, and show us. Get the fans excited. Show us what's underneath, what you've been hiding underneath your sleeves. Pull back the curtain.
Boom.
Yes, sir.
I agree on the fact that with Sony not being there, they have basically the spotlight all to themselves.
For sure.
Because,
yes.
Those are the two companies that get compared to most often, and then Nintendo just does what Nintendo does, right? And does it well, by the way. But the only way I can see them going all out, like on the business side of things, is if they have a marketing strategy from that E3 through next E3, if they're launching the new console for holiday of 2020. If they're launching it earlier, then it's an absolute no-brainer. They're just going to put everything out there. But you got to remember, if they're coming out holiday 2020, are they really going to show everything when there's another E3 before the launch of the hardware?
Xbot, I like your question. Let me just say real quick, I want to do a quick shout out to RockDog31 in the super chat. He said, let's hear it for crap. He's 100% right. And let me tell you something. RockDog was hanging out with us on the MNC show last night, and Rock's got over 500 games on his Xbox. Okay, this guy's a hardcore Xbox hardcore gamer. So, Rock, great to have you here tonight. Thank you. And I do think what Crap is saying is right, and I do think what Boom is saying is right. And let's get to Xbot's point. Xbot, I'll tell you something. Here's the thing. At this point in time, I can't say that we have to wait. We've got to reveal the cards. It's time. Picture it, we're at the casino. Phil's at the table. You got to put your cards down. It's time to put the cards down.
Mooch, I say they can do that, but they have to have a marketing strategy where, you know, they're showing different bits and pieces of this game like a couple months out. They're coming out with a new feature that they didn't talk about at E3 like 4 months down the line. They still have more gameplay to show at E3 2020, you know, and that's if the hardware is coming out in the holidays of 2020, which I think it is. I think they're going to go classic route when it comes to the launch of the hardware. Now, the only thing that I'm concerned about, and trust me, I am a no doom and gloom person, but when it comes to their marketing, we've seen it this entire generation. I don't trust the fact that they would have a great marketing strategy going for that year, going into the release of the new hardware, which I'm not sure if they're going to show everything this year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're not going to show everything, but they have to show at least something new IP related. At least a couple things, because you're going to have more to show next year because you're going to be another year closer with some of those other things. And so hopefully they can show those at that point. But I feel like, and I've kind of reiterated this, their last new IP announcement, AAA wise, was 2015 Sea of Thieves. This is the 2019 E3. You have to announce something new. I feel like that the fans deserve that, and Microsoft should be well aware that, you know, you've got to please your fan base, and you can't, you know, just totally ignore the fact that you haven't shown anything new in 4 years. You've got to do that, you know. Like, I realized that Gears and Forza and Halo is their bread and butter, but you've got to show some love to some other stuff too.
I'm hearing behind closed doors. I'm hearing Halo Infinite is gonna like blow people away.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
they did everything.
That's my most anticipated.
Yeah,
thing.
look,
they're saying the scope of Halo Infinite is something that we have never seen before, going from Halo 1 in accordance to the hardware at that time.
I think as you say that, everybody right now just turned into that SpongeBob meme of "I'm ready." We know.
Look,
right?
Halo
We're
Infinite
waiting
is
for
like,
that.
obviously, the longer a game's in development, the more polished it's going to be. That's I think we're going to have the most polished Halo game if they nail the story and you can be Chief the way people want to be Chief. And you know what I mean? And they have the multiplayer ready to go at launch, like it should be.
Have Locke in the background just waving every once in a while.
I don't even think
hashtag no Locke.
Just do a Poochie thing from The Simpsons. Locke died on the way back to his home planet.
Yes.
That, you know, terrible character.
Goes,
in fact, right now. that whole like team, those teams were terrible idea, right? I don't even remember any. They're so forgettable that you don't even remember who they are. You know what I mean? The only reason why you remember
and Buck. It sounded like something on CBS 8 o'clock on Wednesday night.
Exactly. So, you know, and you wanted to play, and they made it sound totally different.
In the sidekick through it all, though. That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, they made it sound like it was going to be this epic showdown between Locke and Chief, and they get in a slap fight. And you know, for like 10 seconds, and then they're friends. So you know, hopefully
that's typical Xbox marketing. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not even like. How about the Hunt the Truth podcast? They did 2 seasons of. They had
that podcast was actually really good.
It was great. It was awesome. I was riveting. I was so into it. It was amazing
every time,
and it had nothing to do with Halo Guardians. Like, why? None of this stuff has anything to do with the game. Why are you literally marketing?
It's almost like I want that game.
I mean, what's up with the marketing with Chief on the ground and stuff that's like not even in the game whatsoever? You're showing in the marketing, and it's just like it's a huge okie doke. Like, for all fans of Halo, it's just like, well, what the hell was that? What am I playing? None of this is in the game. None of this is happening. Like, it's just not. I'm hoping that's not what we're getting here. You know, hoping Halo Infinite is everything that we hope and dream it should be. I kind of agree with you guys about like showing everything at E3. Show everything that you can show. Right now.
Yeah, Slow-mo, that's what I mean. I mean, don't show us like just a concept.
Load at E3. Let it all out. I mean, because it's been 4 years since you're showing the new IP.
I would love to see it. Like, I don't want people to think that like I'm being negative in any way. I would love to see that. I'm just looking at the timeline. You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, I
And
see that Xbox, but again, they now have almost as many, or maybe just as many studios as Sony. They can show everything they can show now, and then by next year have some of their
show
other
an
studios have
And-
some other games to show as well.
And
I
you know,
guarantee
Slow-Mo?
you, like Undead Labs and Compulsion and potentially the other game that's being developed by Obsidian isn't going to be shown today. I mean, not today, but this year, this E3. But next year, it might be ready to be shown. So like, you gotta show that stuff.
Slow-Mo, I got a question for you then. Do you think that Phil Spencer and Xbox should drop that whole "we're not showing anything that isn't 18 months out"? And
I don't think they
yeah.
ever did. He even say that?
yes, he did.
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
Well, he dropped that like a bad habit. Listen, I got
drop that ASAP. I mean, that stuff does not
Slow-Mo,
work.
the reason what you're saying, Slow-Mo, the reason what you're saying makes a lot of sense is now they have something that they've never had before. We right now have what, an 18-month window until the 2020 release of the Anaconda. They already have that as a, let's call it in soccer, as extra time. Right? They've got extra. Tell us what you got coming down the path in 2021, 2022. Tell people what's coming up, because guess what? You can say it's for next gen game exclusive, whatever you want to put.
They can do that
buffer.
For E3. They can do that for E3 2020. They can focus on the hardware and the launch lineup.
Xbox, you got to stop this.
Why
We
not
talked
do
about
it
this
for
on Wednesday.
2019?
Why wouldn't you do this now? You've got to. You said the same thing about Game Pass on Wednesday. You're like, no, it's all right, Mooch. Let them wait till next year. They cannot wait anymore.
Oh no, I didn't say it was
have been waiting for far too long.
They've been waiting a long time, Xbox.
You don't know what Sony's going to do. You don't know when Sony's going to drop. Let's say you wait to E3 2020, and then Sony drops PS5 in spring of 2019.
Xbox, if what you're saying is waiting it, Slow-Mo's right.
Yeah, now you have shown no games to the gaming community there, and now Sony did their PSX or wherever the hell they're going to do later this year, shown their system, shown games, and they've dropped already. Like, you have to show games now. Like, this waiting stuff, what the hell are you waiting for? You haven't shown a new IP in 4 years.
I am not saying don't show games in 2019. All right. What I'm saying is, you show the stuff that's coming up, all right?
Yes.
The launch lineup, you got the hardware, you're going in, announcement of new IP and stuff like that. And then what I'm trying to say is Phil Spencer needs to lift that 18-month type rule that he has, because going into 2020, like, they're going to have to show, stuff that's further down the line than he would like. You see what I'm saying? To show that there's a future beyond what is dropping for the launch of the new hardware and slightly beyond that. He has to show further on down, whether it is just a CGI type thing, but an announcement or something like that.
That's actually going further than what we're even saying. That's fine. We want to see what's coming out down the pipe. And I mean, Welsh Gamer said it in the chat. He's like, show the goods. Let's go. Gotham guy here says on the super chat, I agree that Microsoft has to go all out on the C3 because Recore, Cuphead, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and Crackdown 3 is not indicative to what Xbox truly is and what its potential is. Gotham guy, you are preaching facts. And like, that's the thing. Like, Slow-Mo said it. Xbox, you just said it. You actually contradicted yourself, but I want to applaud you. I think that, like, that's what we want. Phil, if you're listening,
I think my message was a little fuzzy in the beginning, but that's what I was getting at.
No, that's fine, Xbox. Well, your second opinion was right.
You just have to look at how pumped up Sony fans are after every E3. Sure, Sony shows stuff far out, but look at how excited Xbox fans were about that before they were the coalition. They had that trailer at E3 and Don the Shanghai heist. Yeah, that Shanghai. It's just like a concept thing, right? But people flipped out. They loved the look of it. It was something new. AAA, you know what I mean? Like, people need stuff like that to get excited. And I just think that, Microsoft has the most to prove to gamers that they can come out with quality games. Because they've really kind of failed to do that. As the generation goes on, you're supposed to get better and better, and theirs actually got worse. A lot of them, anyway. Not all of them. I mean, obviously, Gears is going to be great, and Forza Horizon is always great. But their budgets went down. The quality has gone down. You've got to show people, if you really, and they believe in Game Pass. I truly believe that That's not a place where B type movies go. You got to have quality exclusives that go in there that excite people. You need to get people excited about your platform, because right now a lot of people don't look at Xbox as the place that has great games. We have the most powerful console, but a lot of people are just content playing on their PlayStation or PC or whatever. And there's not like that must-have play game on Xbox. So Microsoft has to kind of adjust that, and they have to change a little bit. I know Phil is kind of a stickler for a lot of his ways, but you've got to show stuff and have faith in your studios to get them out there. And this is the year that they've got to do that. They can't wait until Sony comes out next year and starts announcing 10 games that might be 5 years away, because they'll do that.
Yeah,
Crap,
they'll say early
listen,
development, or they'll put a launch date and then it'll be delayed.
Listen, probably one of the best lines to ever come out of the Matrix was, "There is no spoon." Okay, and I would turn right. I love that line. And my point to Phil, if he was in front of me, I would be like, "There is no Sony. You need to come out every E3 like you're the show. You're the best in show. Come out there and show it." And listen, I understand. I get it. There's the scale bounds of the world out there. Things are going to get canceled. Things aren't going to work out. But that happens to all of us.
You got to put something out there to have people forget about.
I put a new battery in my car and it died a month later. That's a me problem. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Shit happens, folks. But at the same time, you got to show people we are showing up at E3 every year for games. And let me tell you something. Sony, they put some games out there back then. It was like 3 years out, 4 years out. It's like, but guess what?
4 years.
The Sony faithful were like, I'm holding on tight for that one. And we will too. So, Phil, show the games. And here's what's different about Scalebound, guys. People keep going to Scalebound. Stop it with Scalebound. Stop it. They didn't own Platinum Games.
It's done. We're done with Scalebound.
No, they own these companies. They own these companies now.
Right.
They have their thumb and their finger on the pulse. So they can announce whatever they want, and they can close whatever they want, and they can open whatever they want. So we are ready for that. I think you guys all agree. Dark Goldblum, I didn't really hear much from you on this. I want to hear your point on it. What are you expecting out of E3? And then I'm going to move on to another subject.
I think you guys are all wrong, and we're not going to see shit this year.
And that's why he's Goldblum.
No, I think, honestly, I think we'll see a lot of games. I don't want, I'm not going to agree with either side here, because I think that if they
There's no right or wrong, Goldblum. It's an opinion piece.
Well, I think if they blow their whole load, it's going to be like, what are they going to have to show at E3 2020? So I think what they're going to try to do
more of what we saw this year.
I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be more than what we saw this year.
It's going to be in 2025, brother.
Will you let me finish, Jesus? You're going to see a lot of things that I think we've been waiting to see, and I think there's going to be some new stuff too. I think there's going to be, I think we'll see from Ninja Theory's new little game. It probably won't be a full-on, gameplay or anything like that, but we'll at least see a trailer. We'll be excited for that. I'm sure we're going to see some stuff from their acquired studios that they've just acquired. So, and I agree with Crap. I think they will acquire another studio, and I think that it probably will be Turn 10 or something. Like, I think they already own Turn 10, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
It'll be BioWare.
It'll be something, something. If BioWare, that'd be crazy.
Shout out to Rumble Forsman, who says, "Who's yelling? Who gave me CA $2?" Which is probably about a quarter. Listen, I love Rumble Forsman. That might be the best name in any kind of panel chat of all time. By the way, God bless that man. That being said, let us move on to our next. This is something that's kind of irked me. We're gonna get a little bit into games here, guys. And me and Crap had a great conversation about this last night on MNC. A little shameless plug there, but it's true. Let me start once with Dark Goldblum here. I'll go back to Goldblum and we'll go in reverse order. Goldblum, I know you're playing Sekiro, okay?
It's Sekiro.
I like to call it what I call it. It's my show! Nonetheless, that being said, what do you think about this easy mode controversy? And not just easy mode. No, it's the accessibility thing, because there's levels to this. This is not just a yes or no answer. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you shouldn't have probably started with it, because this is probably gonna be a long thing. I think what what people are trying to say is like, oh, we need an easy mode. But here's the thing. You're listening to a Forbes magazine article, okay? There are also other articles out there that have said this also as well, but this guy has been saying this since the beginning of Dark Souls.
Right.
Okay. He's been trying to tout this whole thing about it needing an easy mode
Right.
for a long time. So it's like, dude, give it up, man. They're not gonna do it. I don't get the whole disability thing, because I've seen a lot of people who have a disability play these types of games and freaking rock at them and do better than what I do at the game. And I'm not good, or I'm not really that bad either. I'm just kind of more in the middle with these kind of games. And it's like, it irks me a little bit, because it's like these games are made for a certain type of gamer who like this kind of stuff, where they like the challenge, they like figuring out the boss, they like figuring out where to go, what to do. These games are like a puzzle. You have to figure them out first, and then you
Exactly,
really start
Goldblum.
going through it.
That's
and
what a
start
lot of
making-
people don't get, Goldblum. They don't get that it really is a trial and error. It's a puzzle. It is a puzzle.
Exactly.
And,
and the problem is that these people are starting, and kudos to them. They just sold 2 million in 10 days. That's a freaking amazing. That means more people are playing this game. But you also have to look at it this way. Are they playing this game because they hear it's hard, or is it because they think, oh, if we get this game, they'll put in an easy mode for people like us? And I don't think a lot of people are doing that. I think a lot of people are doing it because they want to play this kind of game, because they hear about it from their friends or from their family or whatever, and they're like, oh shit, this game's really hard. I remember we went back when I was playing on the NES and playing what's that game?
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins, or
hell yeah, great game,
or
by the way.
Metroid, or
Kid
or,
Icarus, name any of
Wow.
them.
Mega
Yeah.
Man.
There you go,
All those old games that were really tough to play, but you're getting it in more of a modern fashion. And I think a lot of people are going back and saying, oh, you got to play this game. If you love those type of games back then, you should play this game, because this game
maybe that's what this
awesome.
game is calling to, Goldblum. And boom, I know you have the game, because you did a 360 unboxing of that game. And I'll be honest with you, what do you think? I mean, have you started it?
Yeah, the shameful admission live on the air is I haven't started it yet, simply because I don't like. See, that's a game you have to learn.
Absolutely,
there's no doubt about it. And I'll be the first one to say it. First of all, I've purchased every Dark Soul in the series. I suck. I'm terrible at it. It was too slow and methodical. I lost interest very quickly. The dying didn't bother me, because, like I said, I grew up in the old school era. I'm like, I remember a game like an Arc the Lad, if you remember that. That was a game that was hard as balls. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to the difficulty. Neo, for instance.
Neo's very hard.
Listen, what's
I think
crazy?
Neo's harder than Sekiro.
Yes, it's funny because Luca believes the same thing. She says, no. That game, I don't know how you played that, Boom, because Dark Souls is easy. I'm like, I don't think so. I think I'm terrible at Dark Souls. I got up to level 90 in Neo.
Did you really?
Yeah, dude. I'm not level 90. I put 90 hours into that game and got to the last boss. I couldn't beat the last boss, and I died 1,000 times, and I just kind of new stuff came out. But Sekiro, on the other hand, look, here's the thing.
Hold on, Boom, did you leave the last boss and you're like, that's it? Like,
I think yeah, I have it's just
Xbox,
the last boss. That's
until you play Neo, you don't understand. I understand. I'm nowhere near the last boss.
Bud doesn't know how to play games like that.
I thought about retiring.
Dude, I am a Ninja Gaiden veteran.
Yeah, me too. Ninja Gaiden Black on hard, I beat it. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden Black on hard, I beat that game. That game is another one punishing. But you know what? See, here's the thing.
I'll play Dark Souls. What?
I don't know, dude. It's just Dark. I get maybe because it's just too brooding. It's too slow and methodical for me to. I like the speed, and that's what I really like about what I've seen with Sekiro. And even though the game is going to be hard, in regards to the difficulty, here's my thing. I'm not saying they should put one in or they shouldn't. If the developer is standing their ground and saying, listen, these are the games that we make for our dedicated because they normally are happy with 2 million sold. They've already sold 2 million in 10 days. This is probably going to be doubled by the end of the year. I guarantee it.
Oh, more than that.
Maybe 5 million. And right now, as it stands, I think it's the biggest selling From Software title. So people are buying it for the Japanese aesthetic and understanding that listen, if you learn how to parry, you will still die, but you will be able to play the game. So if the developer turns around and says, listen, I don't think they're going to crack to public pressure, especially from the media, which is they came right out. They don't understand their fans. How dare they? They understand their fans.
They're trying to get them to sell out, basically.
Yeah,
pretty much, exactly.
Right? They're
And
like,
you know what? I don't think
more gamers will buy your game if they're get out of here.
You know what? Look, here's the thing. Games are hard, and I say this all the time, Mooch, and I like you always say I should get a t-shirt. Not every game is for every gamer.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? So if you really want to be good at this game, you will dedicate yourself to be a better gamer. That's the end of the story. Now, if they came out with an easy mode, I wouldn't play on it. I'm going to play on whatever difficulty it starts the game on. And I know I'm going to die a million times because that's just the way these games are. Sometimes you kind of feel like you made a mistake and you understand. Sometimes you feel like the game cheesed you a little bit. That does happen, but you know what? First of all, this game is a masterpiece. It looks so gorgeous, man. It is. Wow, it is really one of their best looking games for sure. And I like I said, it may be for you, may not be for you. I really hate, I'm going to say this, and I don't really say the word hate very often. I really hate what the media tried to demonize From Software, trying to literally strong on them to put an easy
Thank
mode.
you, Boom. Thank you for finally saying it. You know,
but that's the thing.
That had to be
This was
said.
a Forbes article who started, and those guys, you know, they usually try to push the agenda a lot more.
There was
they don't know anything. That's the problem. Is that they
Yep.
don't know nothing.
But there was controversy in Forbes. One Forbes guy said yes. One Forbes guy said no.
Yes,
so
that's
I
true.
mean,
yes.
that you have to be fair. I can't point the finger at just Forbes. Yes.
Mooch, Albert G in the chat, he basically summed it up perfectly. He was like, you know, chess isn't for everyone. Some play checkers. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, there's still both classic games right there that a lot of people play. You don't have to, like, water down, you know, the difficulty or the rules or anything just to get more people to play it. You know, over time, it's going to be the franchise's name that more people are going to try it because of its success.
Plus, by now, if you don't know what a From Software game is, then you're probably living on a rock somewhere because these games have been known to be.
Slow-mo, are you playing it, Slow-mo?
No, I've never played a From Software game, and that is intentional. I don't want to play those games. I have no.
I'm gonna date myself here, Slow-mo, but I just got a fax, and the fax is from Luca. It says you're fired from Skunk Tech. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but Slow-mo, what do you think? I mean, why not try it? I mean, you're good at games. You know what you're doing. Why not give it a shot?
I play my games to I love being awesome at games and dominating people and talking trash.
You will dominate this.
I don't know about that. So I've never even tried them. And plus, like I like some of the people in the chat have said this as well. Like the way Dark Souls looked and the slow movement of the character really kind of turned me off as well.
I get that.
It is. Yeah, I just never like, you know, but what I just never really said, hey, like I'm going to play this game. I did their games have never really appealed to me, but I do not like people trying to get them to change how they make their games.
Thank you.
They are From Software. I can understand that this was Demon Souls, and it was the very first game they came out with, and you had no idea what you were getting into, and then bam, you're just getting killed left and right, and you're real frustrated. And you will come out with an article, you know what? I'm going to tell them how I feel about this. I got Forbes credentials, and I'm just going to write this piece of crap right here. Go ahead.
Right.
But this is 5-6 games in. You know who From Software is. Shut up. They're not going to change their game.
He's right.
It's ridiculous.
He's 110% right.
You knew what this was before you got in there. That's why I don't play those games, because I'm not trying to break a controller, break my TV, have my wife looking at me funny. I'm not trying to deal with all that. So I'm just not going to play the game. And plus, I don't have time to play those games. I got the Division 2 to play. I mean, come on. So for me, it's just like I'm not going to play it. But then I also do not like people trying to ruin the From Software community.
That's the thing, because think about it this way, guys. And anybody, listen, me and Craig, again, we really went through this in depth yesterday, and I'll say it this much again, because it's not to take away the experience, but what people who are rooting for the easy mode are not understanding is if there's an easy mode in the game, you lose the experience. And I know a lot of you are like, that doesn't make any sense. But here's my point. If you guys want to hear me out, there's no easy mode, but guess what else there isn't? There's no hard mode.
Yeah, there is. In that game.
There's just play.
That's true, yeah.
There is no hard
mode.
Actually,
I've heard you're currently playing the easy mode from what I hear, because if you ring a bell, it gets harder. So you're on easy mode right now. Congratulations.
Well, wait, what bell is this you speak of?
The demon bell that you get.
Is that after you beat the game?
No, you can find it in Sunken Valley, I think.
I guess I'm not far enough to know about the bell.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know these things because, like I said, I haven't played it.
Seth in the chat goes, there is a hard mode. Ring the bell. I got news for you, Seth. I ain't ringing shit. I am fucking. I'm loving every minute.
Once
of this
you
game,
see a bell,
don't
ring it. Don't ring it. If you see a bell, don't ring it.
He's gonna find the bell. He's gonna put it in bubble wrap. He's gonna
exactly.
It's a pretty big bell, so you're gonna see
the bell, the ding bar there. No way. Get out of here with that. Listen, I got news for you guys. The thing I said, a lot of people say accessibility. We've got to stop with this, folks. We have to stop. My analogy last night, right? My analogy last night was when you go to an amusement park, okay, there's roller coasters. And that roller coaster, that ride, as soon as you're all the way up, is 500 feet in the air. You can't be like, I really want to ride that. Can you make that 50 feet instead? No, somebody will throw you farther. Okay, the point of that ride is to scare the shit out of you. And the point of this is to challenge you. If you don't like it, there's other games. And, and listen, there's The Surge, which people say is a little bit of an easier kind of Souls. There's Lords of the Fallen, if I'm not wrong. There's other games out, right? Also. Yeah. Right? And I do not recommend. I strongly do not recommend you try Nihon if you don't like Sekiro.
I want to play that game, man.
It's really good. And 2 is coming out this year.
I can't wait. I mean, that's my whole shtick. I'd say when you go to a certain restaurant and you order a meal, you can't take your plate back into the kitchen and go, you know what, cook? This needed a little more salt. They'll be like, get out of here. I'm cooking, not you. Get out of here. You came here for my expertise. You can't tell a developer how to make the plate. You can't tell them how to make the dish. They're the artist. You got to let them be. So that's what Slow-Mo's saying. That's my pitch on it anyways. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's a strong feeling. I do want to talk about a few other things, guys. Hellblade is on the Switch, guys. I don't know if you know about this or it's coming very soon. I've gotten my fill of Hellblade, but that doesn't mean if you have it that you shouldn't try it. What do you guys think about this? I mean, the Switch keeps getting more and more games. Is this something you guys might pick up? Crap, boom, anybody?
No.
I bought it twice. I bought it once on the PS4, and then I rebought it and beat it on the Xbox One because I wanted to support Ninja Theory.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd buy it again a third time. Not because I don't want to support Ninja Theory. I think they're a magnificent company. It's just that I've been through it. I didn't beat it on the PS4. But I did beat it on the Xbox One, and I do suggest if you're going to play this game, by all means, please wear headphones. Wear some sort of audio device on
the
you.
Game.
That is it really does. It's really an entirely different game without them on and with them on.
I completely agree, and I don't blame Boom and Crap for saying no on that because I'll be honest, as much as I enjoyed it, that's not going to be a game I want to pick up on Switch because. To be honest with you, what really
go crazy again.
Well, there's that as well. That last fight, I couldn't imagine that last fight again with those little Joy-Cons. I think I'd kill myself.
Oh, jeez.
Right? Can you imagine that?
Pro controller for sure.
Oh, my, no. There's no way. There's no way I'm playing that with Joy-Cons. I might as well just cut my hands off now.
The Joy-Cons, that's what kills a lot. I mean, if it wasn't for that Pro controller, I don't know how much of a Switch fan I'd be. I need that controller,
Agree. That Switch Pro controller is awesome. And for me, I'm not getting it on the Switch as well. I have it on PlayStation. I got it on PlayStation. I also bought it on Xbox when they
That's right.
When I saw like there was money going from the sale of it goes towards people with who have mental illness. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
went
know
to
what?
a great benefit. Yeah.
You know what? Let me go ahead and support that. So I went and got on the Xbox as well. So I think I've done enough. I played it already. I like it. It's great. Ninja Theory is great, but nah, I'm not. There's no. Even though I have a Pro controller, this just I usually play my Switch remote mobile, so I don't really play it on docked, and I don't take my Switch Pro controller with me everywhere. So
Right.
it'll be
Oh,
limited
shoot.
times that I'm actually going to play it, and this just no. There's no way I'm playing that with
That
Joy-
last boss, I told you, it gave me carpal tunnel. I swear to God, it killed me. It was the longest fight, and I'm like, this should be over. I literally paused. I was like, this should be over by now. And everybody in the family was like, who are you talking to, and why are you yelling? The point of the matter is this: it was just crazy. It was crazy. It was a long fight. I loved it. I love the game, but I'm glad to see it over there. I'm glad some people can enjoy it, but I enjoy my Switch docked too, guys. I really do. I enjoy it docked. I don't really play it too much on the go. I take it on the road when I do go on the road. I always say that. When I go on the road, I take my Switch. But I like to play games like Diablo 3, even Dark Souls. And not to jump back to our old conversation, but somebody had mentioned on the panel that Dark Souls comes off as a slow game. Let me tell all you guys out there that haven't played Dark Souls, whether you're going to play on the Switch, you're going to play on the Xbox or your PlayStation. Here's my deal. You play Dark Souls, and that game, when you're observing it, looks as slow as molasses in January, okay? Let me tell you this much. When you're playing it, it's not slow. It's like, don't die, please. Barrel roll, don't die, please.
Well, especially with the remaster. I mean, it's like what 60 frames per second on console, and not on the Switch, but on the
No, not on
Xbox
Switch.
and the PlayStation 4. So I mean, it's not as slow as it was when it was on the 360.
Yeah, I don't like to stutter step back on topics, but that's the other thing we're going to talk about. But Borderlands Game of the Year is now 60 frames, folks.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't think that makes a difference, boy, you don't know what 60 frames does to a game. It's unbelievably different. It feels like almost like it takes that 2009. Maybe it doesn't feel like 2019. Sure as hell feels like 2015 all over again. It feels good, is my point.
You hear that, Xbox? It feels good.
Feels good.
That's all I gotta say is
Too old.
Destiny 3 better be 60 FPS, man, in my opinion. When they come out with
It sure as hell better. I'm with
What
you,
should
buddy. 60 frames.
60
I'm with
frames.
them on that. Speaking of things that are maybe deceased, guys, I got a problem here. A lot of people are asking me, Mooch, what do you think about Anthem? And I don't know if even people that love Anthem have been writing the group there, and they said, you guys been awkwardly silent lately. They haven't had any updates, nothing coming out. I know channels that are dedicated to Anthem, and they're like, what's going on over there? What do you guys think about I'm not talking about the news and the BioWare and all that stuff with the disgruntled employees. I'm talking about just the game itself. Do you guys think there's any saving this game, or are we just going to tuck this away and forget about it?
Mooch,
Not for me.
For me personally, I was just going to say, for me personally, the gameplay loop, when you get in and play the game, that gameplay loop is incredibly addicting. But you're right, there really hasn't been anything new to come out. And until they kind of pad it with content and stuff like that, I'm kind of like, I'm sitting back. I'm on a wait and see. We have Division 2. I'm back into Destiny 2. There's Mortal Kombat's coming and everything like that. I'm happy I own the game to see what happens down the line. But as for right now, there's just not a lot that gets you back to start that game up again right now.
I think the point of the matter is it's not even the content that's an issue at this point. I think the fact is, and Xbox says loot. And the loot in it, yeah, it's great, grand.
Loop.
Oh,
Like,
the loop.
Yeah, every game has like this gameplay loop, and you get caught up in that gameplay loop. So when it comes to like the gameplay mechanics, the
mechanics are fantastic, and it's a beautiful world.
It's freaking great. The world is beautiful. I am intrigued by the enemies as well. Like the different enemies, you got the natural kind of like beasts that are out there in the wild, and you have different factions that you're fighting against and stuff like that. All that is great. But where's the rest of the content? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
until they put more of that in there.
Well, where are the guns that don't look the same as the other guns that you just had? Like for me, there's nothing that they could probably do to bring me back because I'm playing the Division 2 and I'm loving that game. It's freaking awesome. Like it's
Yeah, all
It's
the
like
the
they
Division
took
2 did their
everything.
homework.
Yeah, they took everything that they did with Division 1 and just upscaled it
They got a
to
couple of
Division 2.
quirks in Division 2 that are still
A
irking
little
me.
bit.
Right. I mean, when you fire any kind of semi-automatic for a long period of time, all of a sudden you're like, and then all of a sudden I don't know about you guys, but my controller, the rumble doesn't work anymore. And it's just like okay, that takes me out of it.
That does happen sometimes.
You know, and
it almost kind of feels like, am I still shooting?
Yeah,
Like,
yes,
Right,
thank
yeah.
you. I feel like I'm out of bullets.
yeah,
So I start to reload, and I'm like, wait, I just reloaded. This is not right. So there's a couple of odd quirks that really got me irked about that. There's a lot of pop-in stuff like that going on in the Division. That's kind of to be expected with that kind of world. But I think, Def Jam Bam, who's a huge Division fan, he's like, Division 2 took everybody out of Anthem. And man did it. Man did it.
You know, the weird thing about Anthem is something that I think Xbox was talking about with the gameplay loop. When it comes to looter shooters, there is like the zone you get into, and it's for any looter shooter fan. You're basically playing the same content over and over again, but you love the gameplay so much it doesn't matter. It never seems stale to you. And the problem with some looter shooters, and the reason why people drop them, and eventually everyone will drop the game, but it's how they drop the game. And the problem is that with Anthem, people have left the game frustrated. And when you leave a game frustrated, it doesn't matter if you're going to come out with additional content to keep the game going. People, their last impression of your game was frustration. They don't want to come back. Versus, say, like the Division 2, where some people may be at level 500, gear score 500. In a couple of weeks, we got the 8-man raid coming out. They may do that, and then after that, there may be a little bit of time until maybe June, when there'll be the next big update coming up. They may put the game down for a couple of weeks, but when they put the game down, they were satisfied.
That's right.
So when the next update comes out, they're going to come back to that because they were satisfied. And that's the issue with Anthem. The gameplay's great. The gameplay's fun. That's one thing out of the actual 18 months of development that happened where they actually nailed something. The gameplay is good. The problem is everything else. So getting it to that point, and I think they can make it better because now they've turned the game over to BioWare Austin that actually has worked on online games before, and they know what they're doing. But this may be like the Division 1, where they had some missteps. Like 90+% of the people who are playing the game left. They made the game better, but not too many people realized that because no one was going back because they left frustrated.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's going to happen here.
But here's my question. I've said this a couple of weeks now, so we don't have to harp on it. But why? I don't care if you promised your investors, because your investors right now aren't happy anyway. Why not move this game to August, September when it had no competition? Why would you release this when you know the Division folks did their homework? The Division folks got burned badly on the original. They came out with strong promises. They had these betas. You saw what was going on. You saw the crowd was hungry for it. Why would you want to launch this thing a few weeks before it? I think it's absolute suicide. I don't understand the rationale. That's the one thing I used to say a lot of times early on in my YouTube career. I used to say all the time, I don't get the gaming media, or pardon me, the gaming industry. I don't understand these folks. I don't understand who works for them. Wouldn't all you guys on the panel agree with me right now? And none of us are experts, okay? None of us pretend to be, okay? And nobody here stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night. So my point being is, all right, don't give me the bullshit well, that's true, Dark, especially you out there in California. But nonetheless, I do want to say this much. Wouldn't, if any of you guys were sitting on the panel and somebody goes, I really think that this whatever it is there, end of February timeline's the way to launch Anthem. When you say, excuse me, sir, the Division's going to be out 3 weeks later, we might want to wait. And we know we're not ready. We know that we're going to have mad patches. We're not going to be able to do this.
Anthem should have been delayed till holiday of this year.
Absolutely. I said September, but whatever you want, Xbox, I'll agree with that.
That's kind of within the holiday. That's like
absolutely. But if you
the whole holiday,
I was trying to avoid the fate of the whole, you're near Call of Duty and all that other nonsense. So,
but it doesn't. See, to me, that wouldn't matter. Anthem already had a hype to it before it dropped. Now, if it dropped with all the content. You know, it had Cataclysms coming already set,
Right.
everything like that. They had a plan out there, and they showed it the way Ubisoft did with Division 2. You know, it would have been a lot different than what they're doing now, what they did, and how the game, you know, with the active users are now. They should have delayed it until, you know, holiday of this year, put out a roadmap or a blueprint, and it would have been a totally different story, man.
Yep, but you know that's EA. EA, they prioritize investors over everything, and they told their shareholders, this game is coming out within this particular this particular quarter, and you're going to see that revenue hit from this quarter. So it had to be Q1 2019. They couldn't do it any later. And that's not because I'm not want to say they couldn't do it any later. It's because their CEO was not going to take a hit for BioWare. He wasn't going to go back in front of those investors and come up with some lame excuse why this game didn't come out. Their investors aren't gamers. They don't care about the game being good. They just care about the game selling. So unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. That's EA and also Activision. That's their focus. Their focus is on making money, year over year revenue growth, and then making games. I guess like for them, this stuff isn't that important. So the game being good is not that important to them. They knew the game wasn't ready. Jason Schreier's article said it. They knew. They said, "Hey, you know, it'll probably be like a 70s Metacritic." Even that was wrong. But like they was like, you know, it'll be okay. You know, we'll just fix the game after it comes out. It'll be all right. Keep going.
Slow mo.
Right.
I think what happened here with EA. I think EA thought to themselves, this is going to be a win-win either way. If we drop the game and somehow it's a success, we win. If it fails, we can just absorb BioWare, take different developers, put them in different dev teams, and make them work on something else. So either way, EA's like, well, we win on this, and we're moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, but that's their MO too.
Let me segue this real quick since you guys are really harping on EA. You know, so Jedi Fallen Order was just kind of, you know, they just put a picture out there. And everybody's kind of excited, but extremely apprehensive at the same time.
Everybody's nervous, man.
Right? Yeah, it's like
it is Respawn that's making it though, so I have confidence.
That's true, Boom. But you know, the thing is that Respawn is not a mega large company, and we know that a lot of their efforts in the past few years has gone into Apex. So, with that being said, all of a sudden we see a Star Wars game. Is now Apex going to take it on the chin? Or is this Jedi Fallen Order going to take it on the chin? What do you think when you have that? You don't have a very large group out there.
Oh, I mean, I'm actually not concerned because simply, first of all, Vince Impella and the team over at Respawn, we have to understand where they came from. They're the reason why Call of Duty was good, and I say was,
and that's why Apex is good. That's why Apex is great. Right.
You know, so him and his team are master storytellers, and I keep saying this because I really enjoyed. In fact, I love Titanfall 2. The single player campaign is probably one of the best single player campaigns this generation. If you haven't played it, shame on you. You can pick up the game for like $5. It's amazing. So you give Vince Impella and that team, full carte blanche to do what they want with the Star Wars game. I think we're going to have something special. It's going to be revealed tomorrow, which I cannot wait. And P.S. by the way, they're not using the Frostbite engine.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They're using actually Unreal 4 for that game.
Yeah, Casey Hudson needs to call up Vince and be like, "Look, what is your secret?
What did you do?
What did you do?
Mm-hmm.
Who's like naked pictures do you have on a USB
I love it. That's great.
You can make your games in whatever engine you want.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the rest of EA's developers are forced to use
strong arms
trash.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. It's only good for DICE. It's not good for anyone else.
Right.
BioWare can't do anything with it. That isn't like hair pulling frustrating. And meanwhile, Respawn has Apex on Source Engine. And now this Fallen Order Star Wars game on
Unreal 4.
On Unreal 4.
Yeah.
He has some kind of pull
He has some voodoo magic there, bro. Let me tell you.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. But I mean, I'm glad of it because I mean, this will be further proof that forcing your devs to use Frostbite is a problem. What's the hottest game that EA has right now? Apex Legends.
Yep,
use
right.
Source.
You know the one
this
thing
game drops and it's great.
Right.
It is a great game and it plays well. It is not buggy as all get out. What's it running? Unreal Engine. Hey, maybe this whole mandate
I want you to understand something.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Mooch, real quick. You know, this, first of all, when, and I say when, I'm not saying if, because I have confidence in that team. When the Star Wars game releases at the end of this year, and it's going to release right before the movie, which, by the way, if you saw the trailer, it gave me goosebumps. Of the new trailer, by the way.
Oh, wait, we don't have a release date for this Jedi Fallen yet.
No. They said the rumor is fall. So I mean, I'm thinking maybe September, October, and then obviously Star Wars Episode 9 launches in theaters on Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big deal. But if this game, and I was saying when this game does well, and it's going to do well, obviously because there's going to be Star Wars craziness all over the place. You understand that. The success of Apex and this Star Wars game is going to propel Respawn to the top tier developer of EA for sure.
Yeah, no, I listen, there's a lot of stuff you just said is not just positive, but it sounds pretty realistic. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, we haven't had a Star Wars game this entire generation.
Well, we're all starving for it for sure,
right?
Yeah.
So that's what scares me, Boom. That's what scares me is everybody who's hungry when you're hungry, you eat anything. So what happened? I went, listen, there's nobody better that knows this than me, and Crap's my backup on this. I told everybody when I played Battlefront 2, I thought it was, I didn't like it. I thought it was terrible. It looked pretty, but we got to stop. A game that looks good is not always a great game, right? I mean, come on. So my point being is just to be more depth to it. Now, I will say this much. Everything you and Slow-Mo said, I do agree with. I don't even have a but or an and. I don't think any of you guys are wrong at all. I really don't. I think you're on spot on. However, I'll just say, I think everybody's so hungry for, and the same thing goes for Star Wars 9. J.J. Abrams, by the way, if he could, he's like, what's his name there? Not Scrooge McDuck. I don't know who it was. Whoever landed backwards into a room full of gold, that's what he's about to do. 8 was so bad. Right? 8 was so bad for Star Wars fans. This is not for me speaking. 8 was so bad that no matter what he does, just the title alone, Rise of the Skywalker, he's already getting glorious
you
applause.
saw the teaser, right? Like that.
Of course I did.
Like, oh shit!
Well, he did what they had to do. It looks like he retconned a lot of what was in 8.
Yes.
Ryan Johnson doesn't know what he didn't know what he was doing.
We don't know yet, Crap. That's what I'm saying. We don't even know what.
Well, hey, look, you bring back the Emperor. That's a smart move. Even having Skywalker in there, that's a smart move. It leads people to speculate because in the last one they said Rey's parents were nobodies. Bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, you're right.
Like that was a stupid thing to do all the time. It needed to be retconned. They needed to fix it. People needed to be just like sort of parallels to Xbox. People lost interest in Star Wars thanks to Episode 8, and you got to renew the interest. And I think that did a pretty good job for most people. You know what I mean? Like I'm still waiting to see.
Right.
After the last one. But it does give you hope that they could do something good, and they've got their streaming service that they announced, which that price and the content that they have, that's they're gonna that's incredible. You know what I mean?
What,
like
Disney
they're gonna
Plus?
$6.99. Are you kidding me? You're paying like $10 more than that.
Hey,
for
I got
Netflix.
a question for you, Crap. If cutting cable was cutting the cord, what happens when you cut Netflix? Is that cutting air? What the hell is that?
So the streaming service is only $7 a month.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying,
dude. First of all, I would pay that just to watch the show Mandalorians. By the way, it's going to be amazing.
Boom! They're talking about the other Marvel. What is it there? Now I'm going to forget too. There's a Loki.
There's
show
a Loki
coming.
one.
There's the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, and there's also Ronin.
Yes.
It's going to be a series.
Yes.
And then the names though, they're going to have to change these names. WandaVision, like. What I don't know what happened there. Did they just throw that out there and someone was joking and then they just actually took them seriously?
Wait, what's WandaVision?
WandaVision is Scarlet Witch and the Vision.
Oh, okay.
WandaVision.
Yeah, and they can't be WandaVision. It's just like that's a terrible, terrible name.
Horrible.
Don't do that. But hey, look, $7 a month. I'll take it. I'll watch it.
Well,
yeah,
no,
I mean,
yeah,
look,
but here-
stream, right?
Well, I'm
That's
just gonna
like,
say, but wait a minute though. I want to go. No, I want to go back to Slow-Mo's point right there. He said for $7, I'll buy that. But
Yeah.
Slow-Mo, here's my question for you, and crap you too, because you stream actually a lot of media content. What are you guys cutting? Because cut the cord, guys, because it's so expensive. Now
Oh,
everyone's
no, I'm
buying
not cutting
everything a la carte.
I'm not cutting
Yeah.
any cord.
Boom, you're
I'll
paying
do that.
I'm not
more.
cutting anything either. No. I'm
This
just.
is the
Yeah, I'm not
problem.
gonna cut it. It's only
I
6
said
or
this a
7
decade
bucks,
ago or 5 years ago, whatever it was, when people were like, "I got news for you. I'm cutting the cord and
if
saving
it came
money."
down to it, I would cut the CBS All Access. I was only watching that Star Trek show in there anyway. And that's $5.99 itself
Crap,
for little
there's
to no
people-
content.
And
So.
I know maybe you're not, but there's a ton of people right now getting HBO Go for $14.99, and they're gonna forget they have it after Game of Thrones is over. That's $14.99, $7 for Disney, $12.99 for Netflix. It doesn't end Hulu. Everything keeps going on.
Don't forget
and
DC, $10 a month.
DC. It doesn't end.
Hey, Mooch, you know it's free?
WWE Network.
Mooch, you know it's free?
I don't have that, but nonetheless.
Yo, coding
ahead,
is
Xbox.
free, brother.
Oh, here we
You pirate!
So's jail, Xbot. Listen, I got news for you.
I'm not going to jail for nothing, man.
We keep saying Cody out loud. You just might get a knock on the door. Be careful with that. I'll tell you right now. Here's the thing. I got to be honest with you. I think that the Star Wars game has got me. It's got me intrigued. I'm very excited. I know Vince and his team is very. They're very, very impressive. They're very sophisticated. But the point of the matter is, this is not a large company. And if we're going to say that the Jedi Fallen Order is coming out this fall, which I agree with Boom on that. If it comes out this fall to make the money with the time with the movie, this was in development during the same time threshold as Apex. And Slow-Mo said it best himself when he said Apex came out and it was crisp. Okay? There was no problems with this game. That means you had a dedicated staff to Apex and you had a dedicated staff to the Fallen Order. That's not enough people over there.
I don't know. No, they have over 200 employees there.
These are two AAA games, though.
Yeah,
crap.
and they did. Here's the thing: what I love about this Star Wars game, the mocap for it, like they were using lightsabers. Like I love it. It's supposedly a spiritual successor to Force Unleashed. It takes place between Episode 3 and 4. It's got it's canon, so there's that. There's no microtransaction. There's no multiplayer. None of that shit. It's just straight up Star Wars campaign, Star Wars story. That's what's exciting about it. So there's no filler. There's just the meat of a great Star Wars story, and I think that's what people want.
So listen. I've watched every Star Wars, and boom, we were talking about our era and crap, our era growing up, right? Listen, guys, but I don't want to have with what was it there, crap? Like you just said, it's the successor of which game again?
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, right?
Yes.
So I saw Force Unleashed just from a distance, and I was like, yes. And then I found out that I was Joe Smith, the understudy of Darth Vader. I'm like, who? I don't want to be Joe Smith. I want to be, but you know what I mean? I want to be Luke Skywalker again. I want to be a main character.
Well, you have to look at it this way. When the Force Unleashed came out, that was canon at the time, and Vader had a secret apprentice. And depending on which, and you actually had a choice at the end.
Yeah.
Whether you wanted to, you either had to kill. It was really well done. The second one, they rushed it, and it didn't work out as well. But
in Jedi Fallen Order, do you guys want to be Mooch Boomstick, the apprentice to Luke Skywalker? No, right? I mean, come on. Can we be? I want to be a character that we all know and love. And I think that's what happens. We get a little in depth here, right, Boom?
Well, no, what I'm going to say is that what's good about what they're doing is you got to remember this is now considered canon, right? Everything before the 9 films and the animated series is no longer canon, shamefully enough. And there's a lot that they got rid of. So the new games are going to be canon. So the character, of course, I believe is going to be a meaningful character that's. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Heck, I don't even know what the game looks like at this point. I know it's a third-person perspective, and they're saying that it's very similar to the Force Unleashed, along with Jedi Academy, and some Uncharted added in there.
Okay,
that's what they're saying.
Hold on, they got crates. Is what you're trying to say?
I hope they don't have crates.
I'm thinking more like cliffhanging. You know?
Well, maybe, but you know what? We were talking about this today. I hope that the lightsabers do damage. Like, I want limbs to fly off. I really do. It doesn't have to be bloody because they get cauterized. But if you're going to be using a lightsaber, you gotta, chop some arms off.
Well, yo, Mooch, when it comes down to it, I understand what you're saying about like characters like that and love that you want to play with. But when it comes to Star Wars, I feel like they did a lot to really put out that there's an entire universe out there. I think Halo is trying to follow suit with that and showing that there is a lot of stories. There's a lot of interesting characters that might not make it to like the main game or in Star Wars like the main movie, but have had really interesting kind of like experiences and what they were doing within the universe. I actually like that because there were people in Star Wars that were thought that they were going to bring balance and they didn't really do it, but they were incredibly powerful. They just weren't the ones. So there's some type of downfall here or there or somewhere. And I like those stories as well. It really fills out the entire kind of like Star Wars world. I hear what you're saying. So for people who strictly just watch like the movies, don't get into kind of like the background of what's going on, I can see that. But I can also see them going that other way and telling the more.
I think, and Xbot, great point. I'm glad you kind of brought that to realization. But I mean, I would think even when you talk to the majority of Star Wars fans, okay, they are
Skywalker, man.
But they are the moviegoers. And I'm not saying you have to be, Luke or Rey or Anakin. I'm not saying you have to, or Obi-Wan. My point, you don't have to be that specific or that top tier. But maybe even a character that is close. And I know that they did that with The Apprentice with Darth Vader, but that was just, it was like, who's this guy? Who am I? I mean, if I'm running around, can I be somebody that we've at least heard of?
Well, but see, that's the thing. It's the name Star Wars. You kind of the universe, the Jedi, the Sith, the Republic. So I actually, when it came to Force Unleashed, I really got into that story because I didn't necessarily know who this guy was. So as it unfolded, I was like, "Oh crap, what's gonna happen here?"
Xbot, I'm okay. Listen, let's take the character Poe for a second, okay? Let's say they made the game around him. Now you go back to when Poe was originally introduced. I would have been like, but at least now he's got character development. You know where he's going. He plays a major role, even though he's not. That would be something. He's kind of like the new Han Solo. Which is, I think he falls short of Han, but nonetheless.
Well, I think I kind of lean. I think I kind of lean a little bit on Xbox side here because I think it really comes down to the quality of the writing that really determines how good or how like. So
you don't mind Slow-Mo being generic guy who's going to be this guy?
Because all of these characters at some point were generic, whatever, until you watched it or played it and said, "Oh." This character became this. Like take Revan and Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah,
like
good point.
Revan's an awesome character. Yeah. That was a completely original story written by Drew Karpyshyn back when he was still with BioWare. Take the TV show Rebels, which takes place pretty much in the same time period as Fallen Order. Like that show is great. That's a great TV show.
That's a good point.
Great writing. And it doesn't have to actually be like about strictly like the characters that you see in the movies and everything. And I know that it's limited of what you can do with those characters because, of course, if it's in between episodes, this character's end. You kind of like. Well, this character's not going to die in the scene, so why even write or show anything where it looks like he might die, considering the fact that you already know his characters are like in the next movie. Right. So you need to create completely different characters so that, you never know what might happen to these people at this point.
That's a good point. And I don't think we should look away from that point. But I mean, Slow-Mo, you have to understand something too. You're also talking about somebody that's put time and effort into that game or that's something that was a character development. I don't see that happening in this. I think this is going to be a little bit more generic. I think boom, you said this too, and Slow-Mo, they're rushed. I feel like maybe this is being slightly rushed for the movie. I mean,
I don't know. I don't think so. They've been working on this game for quite a while. If anything,
supposedly, they've been working on this since even before, like literally right after, or maybe Titanfall 2. So.
Okay.
And I actually got a thing that leaked. It's like you can pre-order Jedi Star Wars Fallen Order, and you outfit yourself with a unique cosmic equipment for your lightsaber and droid companion. So it sounds like you're going to be able to kind of create your own character and lightsaber and stuff like that. And I think that's kick ass. I think everybody wants to be a Jedi.
Listen, I'm all in. I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't. I'm all in. I'm already there day one. Crap. I'm not even saying. I'm calling it this early.
It's actually quickly became one of my most anticipated of the year. So I mean, I'm looking. We're about hours away from seeing some gameplay.
What's the reveal time?
I think it's
tomorrow afternoon, isn't it?
Bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy, right?
I think it's like 1:30 p.m. Eastern or something like that.
It's Star Wars Celebration, so
yeah.
I don't know. I myself personally, I was shocked to see it was going to be a weekend release, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm all right with it. I think that's fine. Guys, we've got a few minutes here left, and I want to kind of get into something real quick here. I think the next generation. We talked about E3. Next generation's around the corner. And I think strategy tactics are a big deal. We've been saying this for years. So, Crap, you were bringing this up. I'll start with you. There's a rumor that the PlayStation 5 may come out in March. And we talked about this a few months back, but it was kind of taboo. Now we're hearing it's picking up a little bit more momentum. Do you think this is one of those cases where, we know 4K 60 is going to be out on both consoles? Is this a big deal to come out first? And not just first, but first by 6 months?
Yeah, if they come out first, I think that's a huge.
I think it is for either company.
Yeah, you wanna. That just means that Sony is very protective of what they have. They've done a good job of really going at Microsoft. Like they've been a step ahead, almost, sort of like the Water Boy, where he's reading the Idiot's Guide, and that's where he's getting all his plays from, right? And so he knows what he's going to do. Like they've been very much ahead of what Microsoft's been doing. Microsoft does have a solid plan. It's just their time is a constraint for them, right? They got to wait for these developers to put out these games. And Sony knows this. If Sony gets a jump on them, because Sony knows that they probably won't have a console as powerful. But if they can get out there first and be like, next gen, people drop their current consoles. Like I know things are different from Microsoft because they might do forward compatibility or whatever. But when people hear the term next gen, they drop what they have and get it because you think of that big leap.
I think I think the same thing.
But that's only going to be for the hardcore, dude. I got news for you. 85+% of PlayStation's 100+ million sold are casual people that bought it on Black Friday for $150. I can tell you this right now. You'll get 10% of the populace, if you're lucky. Maybe even less than that. Maybe it's 7-8% to go out and buy a $500 PS5, and then what are they going to launch it with? Because because you say the end of the year, then there's a little bit more wiggle room where you get a Last of Us 2, you might get Horizon Zero 2, you'll get something in there. You might get Ghost of Tsushima, you might get Kojima's game if you launch at holiday 2020. You talk about March of 2020. First of all, you're going up against all of the games that are going to be this. March. January, February, March is now the new November, October, November, September, October, November in gaming. So they're going to have to compete with all those games. They don't have any of their first party stuff ready. They don't.
Well, I mean, look, they're saying like possibly GTA. They're saying there might be a Ratchet and Clank game. Some of these games could be cross-gen.
GTA 6 ain't coming out for another 5 years, dude.
7,
I know, right?
7. Well, 7. I mean, look, I'm just saying they could release it. People, like, whether we admit it or not, Sony has they're very popular. They have that mind share. They release a console 6 months early and say, hey, you want to jump in? Here's what you know what I'm saying? People
but they have games, dude.
But they don't, though, because they didn't have games with the PS4. And I know Microsoft shot themselves in the foot, but all they have to do is show stuff that's possibly coming in the next 3 or 4 years, and people are going to be excited about it and buy into it. They're like, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, this, you know what I mean? Like, that's how they're going to do it. They're not just going to go, here's a PS5, because Sony knows that they're probably not going to have the power advantage, and you're going to have to come out probably first swinging, and they're taking Microsoft's playbook and using it against them 360 style.
I think, listen, as much credit as I give Sony for their marketing and what they've done this generation, I think that you're way too confident to think and suggest that they're going to be coming out in March of 2020.
Well, boom,
that is
listen,
highly unlikely.
I can see that. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen.
I'm not
but
saying
I can see it happening
there-
simply because I mean that time of year is when people get their tax returns.
But wait,
back.
not just tax returns. I said that earlier on Twitter, but here's my other thing. Let's go another step further. Boom, you got to hear me out here. Okay, I'm going to give
Can
you
I
a very
point something out real quick?
The Switch so allows to March.
Yeah, they did March launching for the Switch. Yeah,
very successful.
That SoC just leaked too. That Sony's PS5 SoC is done and ready to start mass production, where Microsoft's isn't yet. So the fact that their SoC is done and ready to go.
Explain to the audience though, crap with SoC is.
It's the APU. You know, it's like the
chip.
Yeah, so their chip is ready to go. I'm not saying for sure it's going to be March, but what a brilliant move that would be. Just
it's a big move.
It would be a big move because
if you are underpowered to the new Anaconda, and boom, and boom, you gave. I'm only speaking to you because you gave a little bit of the resistance, and I like that. Is that right now you have 100 million PlayStation 4 owners. Okay,
right.
They've got anywhere from 20 to 500 games. Okay, in their library. Now, you said they're not going to, and I love to agree with you, but the only thing I got to argue, it's not me, okay? If you have 400 games, 300 games, 200 games, 100 games on your PS4, and PS5 comes out in March, and even if you were on the fence, you're on the fence. I might go to Xbox because they're stronger. They're stronger box for multi-plats. A 6-month jump. You say, you know what? All my games are coming with me. I need this new box to play the new games. Because Sony's forward compatibility thing is questionable. The backward is definitely going to happen. The forward is not known yet. You're going to buy it.
You know,
and it's a dead way to lock and attack Microsoft, who's coming out with a stronger box. It's an interesting tactic.
I mean, what you're saying does make a lot of sense. I'm sorry, Bot. I'll let you speak in a second.
No, go ahead.
That makes actually a lot of sense, what you're saying. But you also have to remember, when you say casual, you say 20 games. I'm telling you, the casual gamer buys 2 games a year.
I agree.
And it's usually a Madden, a 2K,
and a COD.
And you can throw up
Call of Duty.
Yeah, you can throw Call of Duty and one big game, like a Spider-Man game, because everyone at work is talking about it.
Or The Last of Us 2.
Well, right. Or The Last of Us 2, which of course is going to be amazing, and that game is going to be incredible. But like I said, you're going to have, again, the hardcore fan base for either of the platforms are day one buyers of these. If this system is $500, dude, you understand the massive resistance. I mean, you saw what the media did to Microsoft releasing a $500 box.
Yes.
Well, Microsoft released a $500 box that was
again.
But hold on, Microsoft released a $500 box that was less powerful than the $400 box, and
that's true. It's true.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I mean, like I think Sony's very smart because they have to sell consoles, and they have, you know what I mean. Like it's much more important to them to be able to do that. So I think that I'm not saying that they will for sure, but it does make sense for them to try and get a jump on Microsoft, because Microsoft is counting on having games, and like I said, time isn't on their side because people are wary, and I think that these games are great, but people are wary of the cycle of Gears, Forza, Halo, and if Sony can say, and we all look, it looks like they're pushing back some of their games to coincide with the PlayStation 5 launch.
It would make sense for them to do that. Yeah.
I was going to make a joke.
I also don't think they're going to release PS5 at $500. I think it'll be like $400. Honestly, I don't think they'll ever go for $400.
Listen, if we're going to agree that the PS5 is going to be underpowered to the Anaconda, I agree with Slow-Mo. This thing's going to be $399.99, easy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing you guys got to think about. Like Xbox is probably going to have.
I got you next. My bad.
Xbox is going to have another $500 console. I almost guarantee it, because you know why?
The Anaconda is
power that's going to the power that's going into that console, and PS5 might be slightly, underpowered from the Anaconda, but guess what? It's still going to have probably better games then at launch,
just so you
at
guys know
launch,
that Goldblum said that, not crap this time.
I
said it.
think PlayStation 5 is going to have better games at launch. I'm just saying.
Careful,
I
hey, Goldblum, be careful. Your Twitter's about to get blown up. For,
Careful.
24
I know.
hours.
It's fine. It's okay. But I
say
just
that.
feel
I hope
that,
you throw your phone in the fish tank.
Yeah.
Listen,
I just feel like,
Hey, you just keeping it real, man. Go ahead.
yeah, I just feel like, what you're saying is that, Xbox is going to be, you're thinking, boom, that PlayStation is going to come out with in March. I kind of agree with that. I don't think they're going to come out in March, but I think when they do launch, they're going to kill it, and they're going to freaking blow.
I don't doubt they're not going to have a bunch of, got to remember, one of the biggest Achilles heels with Sony in the past two generations, PS3, PS4, has been their first party games at launch. At least for the first 3 years, it's always been very dry. So now they have a couple of games that they showed very early.
And hold over,
and they're gonna hold over. And what will they do? They're gonna slap a PS5 sticker on the box, and they're gonna slap a PS4 sticker.
There has to be some development for. Hold on, Craig. There has to be some development for the new hardware. All right, so those games, they the Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, those games, Death Stranding, right? That everybody swore up and down was going to be PS4 games. If a PS5 comes out in March, I want to know what those people have to say. But here's
it's still going to be a PS4.
I think those games will come to PS5 as well.
Here's the deal, though. It would make sense for what they are doing when it comes to E3 and a PlayStation experience. If you look at the timetable of them debuting or unveiling hardware, and then when the hardware releases, right? Everybody was like, man, Sony's skipping E3 and they're using the PlayStation experience and stuff. That's PlayStation experience is a little further down the line. And if you look at, when they do that experience to a March unveiling, it makes perfect sense.
Well, here's the thing. Sony is ruthless, right? Like, we're used to soft and cuddly
they really
Microsoft.
are.
And Phil won't get content. Like, Sony will go out. I mean, there's a rumor. I'm not saying I believe this rumor, but that Microsoft might, or that Sony might get GTA exclusivity for a certain amount of time. I'm saying it might not happen, but
I agree with you, Boom.
Sony is ruthless in that way.
Ruthless.
Yeah, they are. Look at what they did with what the hell is it? Control, right? Xbox fans just got backslapped. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we supported we supported this company, and Sony goes out and gets this content. They get exclusive missions that we'll never get.
They would never deal with Remedy usually, but because Remedy left Microsoft, what do? They lock it down. Listen,
hey, they lock. I think they still got Destiny.
Xbox gamers didn't support Quantum Break.
Yeah, the minute Bungie leaves Xbox, they lock them down. Listen, guys, Sony Crap said something a few minutes ago, and I've been sitting here holding my tongue. He said something that made a lot of sense. Okay, he's like, Sony needs the console sold. You guys have to hear what he's saying. Okay, Microsoft is giving you plenty of options next gen. Plenty, 100.
Yeah.
Sony.
I said that Sony, a lot, right? I'm like,
you have, but Sony's only giving you one.
A bad thing,
buy
but
the console.
Yeah, Microsoft doesn't, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing or it's not an anti-Microsoft thing, but Microsoft does not care if you buy an Xbox or not. To be honest with you, if you want to play their games and they think they're going to come out with great games, then they think you'll play it on a stream or a Xbox One or a Xbox One X or a PC. They really do not. They don't care. They really do not care. And I just really do think that's how their mentality is.
You got to take that into account. Real quick, let me just do this real quick. I've had some super chats sitting around. I want to really announce this. Yobi's just a fantastic person. Yobi, by the way, everything you do on Twitter,
that's going to be crazy right there.
I thank Yobi so much. Yobi just said the week of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order releases, I'll do a giveaway an M&C for the game of the show. Rack them up. Great. Peace, love, life. Thank you so much. And then shout out to Stop 6 Stock. Stop 6 has been with me and Crap for so long. Stop 6, thank you for being here. He says, what's up? Great show. Even though I haven't heard it yet, I'm going to replay it later. Stop 6, always great to have you, bro. Thank you so much for being here. No, realistically speaking, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. But Boom, let me go back to you, Boom, because Boom, you've brought some great stuff, and I'm going to give Crap. I got to give Crap an outro. Crap told me it's 8:50. He had to leave. And I told him I'd give him one, and I apologize. Such great conversation. Crap, I'll give you an outro later, I promise. But Boom, this is kind of a big deal. I mean, you've got Sony that needs you. They need to sell the box. They've got to sell the box.
Well, they're
right?
traditional.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and don't get me wrong. People go, Mooch, Sony's going to do the same thing. They are, but later and quietly. For the next generation's around the corner, guys. We're still playing consoles.
Yep.
They know this, and they want to sell the box. Boom. I don't think March is that crazy. I really don't.
I mean, like, you did bring up a good point with the Switch launching in March, and it did gangbusters. I mean, look, let me just say this. If
you guys see, it's a different type of console, though. It's a different type of thing, you know?
But still,
it's not like your traditional console.
No, but again, it's really not so much the console I'm referring to. It's just really the point that a hardware launched, untraditionally.
Yeah, but you got to look at what the Wii U did. The Wii U was shit-tastic. People hated that damn thing. And then they came out with the Switch, and of course, people were going to go buy it because they were like, they saw the reveal of it. They're like, oh my god!
I think that's taking the easy road. A lot of people were very worried about,
they were, but until they found out that Breath of the Wild was going to come out for it, and then they saw how great that looked, and then it was just like, okay, well, I got to go get me a Switch. So I just don't think that that whole March timeframe isn't a good point when it comes to the traditional consoles like Xbox and PlayStation.
Well, no, they're full releases for sure, right?
Yeah, they thrive in the holiday season, and that's where they're gonna. I think that's where they'll stay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think March is too soon, but I'm saying that if they want to do something bold and different and kind of really, because you gotta have to look. First of all, Microsoft has caught Sony down with their pants down numerous times. With it didn't help that they were so behind in the hardware, but they announced the Xbox One S, and then at the same time, right after that, on stage, they talked about the Xbox One X, right? That shocked a lot of people. The two-prong attack that they're looking to do, which is with the Lockhart being the $300 box, which is supposedly a little bit more powerful than the X, and I find that pretty incredible if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the $500 box is a $200 difference, but you're getting maximum, hardware, which of course I think everybody on this panel is going to probably wind up getting. But you're also, again, it would be shocking, and I still say, and I'll stick to my guns, it's highly unlikely a March release. But with that said,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong with that.
It would be a one hell of a move. My only question is the 3 games that they're holding back. How far along are there? And the fourth one being the wild card in Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Boom. Like I said, I ask everybody on the panel, because Slow-Mo does Scumcast, and he does a bunch of other great shows. He spot checks on a lot of shows. Xbox got next. Dark Goldblum's on next, and he's on Crossfire a lot. Boom, you've got a ton of podcasts. I want you to, Boom, I'm going to direct it to you, Boom. Boom, if you were sitting on the panel, not the panel, excuse me, the board.
I'd launch in March,
and I'm sitting you right, and I say, Boom, and I'm looking you dead in the face right now. We're across the table from each other, and I go, Boom, we've been friends for a long time. We are coming out with a box that's slightly underpowered. We know what games we have. We know we have a good arsenal, so we're not doom and gloom. But we're sitting there, we're like, man, we've got a great arsenal of games. We got a great thing to offer our customers. How do we beat these guys with their streaming and stuff they're going to launch right away? And you know what you said to me? You say, Mooch, we launch early. We already have the lead. Let's keep the lead. And
I agree with that move.
Boom.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying. Boom.
Yeah. Again, it's what you have to keep in mind with the hardware is going to be obviously going to be more powerful than the X. So once again, they're going to have the power back.
Right.
So, but the issue is the games. Again,
exactly.
We really don't know if they're not going to have the games ready.
That's true. It's true.
I'm still under the. I know I'm in the minority here, but I still think The Last of Us 2 might come out this year. If not this year, at the end of this year,
I actually,
it will definitely be out.
That would be fantastic.
Regardless of when the PS5 comes out, I think The Last of Us 2 comes out spring, which means April, May, if you will. April, May 2020.
And it's a launch game then. It would be coming out with potentially.
How big is that, Boom?
That's big. That's going to sell systems.
Slow-Mo, that's huge.
Cross-generational.
I mean, like it used to be a time where all the big games came out in the holiday season, and it was always packed. And it was always like, like no games come out in the first quarter of a year. That doesn't happen. Now it's packed full of games coming out.
Well, just look at 2019 slow-mo. Crazy.
Yeah, the Switch came out, around this time of year, and it's like there really is a thing about, hey, look, people got their tax returns, and hey, look, hey, that $300, $400, $500 really isn't that big a deal right now. They got money burning in their pocket. They're going to spend it. So I do think it's a possibility they could do it. I think if they really do want to,
yes,
if they're really concerned about the Anaconda being more powerful, because of course power is such a big thing.
But slow-mo, not only taxes, right? They're looking at the North American market. Okay, they're not dumb. They know what they're doing. Because if you look at PS4 sales, right, out of the 100 million. What did they say? Japan sales are like less than 10 million or something like that.
It's like 8 or 9.
Right, exactly.
Like that, yeah.
So what I'm saying is not only tax returns, but listen, the one thing Sony's remember that meme that went around that picture and it showed all the things Nintendo did and then all the things Sony did and they copied it, right? Right? And everybody forgets about that, but Goldblum knows what I'm talking about. Like my point being is they came out with the Switch in March or that time frame. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that March, and boom, you said this, and I actually agree with you. But I'm not saying March is the new November. But March is when people want to spend money again after Christmas.
Yeah, you have a 3-month break.
Right? And boom, guess what? They have from March till November to earn the money or save the money to buy that console. That's a long time, guys.
Yeah,
guys, check this out. Check this out. I'm going to predict something real quick. I'm going to bring it back to Xbox E3.
All right, do it, Xbox.
So when we watch E3,
and then we'll wrap it up because I'm keeping Senor Bombastic from his movie night.
If they go all out,
movie night.
Xbox goes all out at E3, like everybody said earlier in the show that they got to do, really show that roadmap, show games coming out in the future, unveil the new hardware, everything, fireworks, you got pyrotechnics, shit's going crazy. If you see all that, I'll say that the PS5 is coming out in March because these companies they basically have a general idea of what each other is doing.
That's true, Xbox.
All right, so if you see all that on Xbox's stage at E3, you can almost guarantee PlayStation 5 will be out in March.
I completely agree. And with that, guys, we have hit the 2-hour mark, and the conversation I can't believe it, man. You talk about valleys and highs and. Man, this conversation just blew up with about 10 minutes left on the show. Man, great conversation by everybody here. Let me go in reverse order here, and I'll start with Dark Goldblum. Goldblum, you made an announcement on Twitter that you're coming back to podcasting, and when I saw that, man, I lit a match and stomped my feet. That's great to have you back, buddy. I will definitely put you back on the regular rotation. Let people know where they can find you, and I know next is your home, so let people know when you'll be there.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Artemis. You can also find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation now at Dark Artemis. That's right. You can find me on both at Dark Artemis.
He's converted.
I got an announcement coming next week, and maybe I might have an announcement tomorrow. Who knows? You never know.
You're gonna rival Vince Appella
coming next week. You know what's funny is when Boom said Vince Appella, I think that's the first time you never said anything about Vince Appella, Mooch.
Yeah, you know what? I kept my mouth shut on Vince. I wanted to give Vince a little bit of shine there, all right? Because I'm very excited for the Star Wars thing. Maybe I'll catch a Star Wars fever, but nonetheless, that's a good point.
Vince Appella, what?
Slow-mo, dude, honestly, you know this, man. Like, you just click on the show. You already know that. So it's always great to have you, man. And you know what? Listen, I got to mess. I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for Luca because you guys mesh so well as well. And that's why she's the female Mooch. That's why it just works that way. Slow-mo, it's great to have you here, bro. You're always welcome on the show. Let people know where they can find you, and I hope you come back soon.
Hey, anytime, man. Like, you tried to get me on last week, and I was like,
yeah,
I can't. Like, it was just like so many things happened. I'm like, man, I always love coming to Crossfire because
I appreciate that.
There's always a great debate going. There's always a lot of yelling, and it's not just you, it's everybody. I love it. And
who's yelling?
You never know. Who's yelling? We're all yelling.
Yes!
It's great. I love
Contagious.
it. And yeah, so you guys can catch me on Twitter, same name, Slow Mo Backslap. You can now catch me with the same name on PSN, and Xbox as well. But I'm on the Scumcast. That'll be tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Central, with the Ash and Luca, the Real Masterlin, the whole crew, All Day Digital. You know, all of us. We get together. We have a lot of fun. And also on Brad Podcast Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, great show, guys. I appreciate you.
Awesome, Slow-Mo. Thanks for being here, man. Shout out to all those podcasts you're on, man. Great to have, shout out to Enrique. He's hopefully going to be able to join us one of these Friday nights. He's got a lot going on, but I want to get him back on the show as well, Slow-Mo.
Enrique is currently crying in Sekiro right now.
I asked him how he's doing, and he was
screaming.
Like,
it's just like,
he can't be doing worse than Kid Smooth. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh no, I think he's doing better than him. But it's just like nonsensical comments, and everyone's like, "What's going on? You having a seizure? Are you having a stroke? What's happening?" He's like, "No, I just lost to this boss in like the last possible moment."
I asked him. I said, "Enrique, how you doing on that game?" He goes, "It's great." And instead of exclamation mark, it was ... I was like, "Oh, I feel you, man. I feel you, man. I know that feeling." That being said, my boy Xbox 448, who's got a show tomorrow, and he's confused for 844 every once and again. Xbox, let people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, AKA King Neutral. I got a bunch of names on Twitter now, but
you can't proclaim yourself King Neutral, dude.
I can do whatever I want.
Do whatever you want.
Yo, check this out. Tomorrow on my channel is the next podcast, and guys, you are gonna want to tune in. Not only are we talking about like the hottest gaming topics for the week, we are also coming in and we're talking about Xbox negativity and whether or not you should enjoy your Xbox content. So you definitely want to tune in for that. I have a feeling Knox is going to have a different opinion than Mega, and Mega's going to have a different opinion than me. I don't know, Dark might be there, but it's going to be crazy. You guys don't want to tune in. YouTube channel, Xbot448. I had a blast, Mooch. I think the people on the panel, my brothers here on the panel, they were hanging out with my brother So Shady, and they got some of his habits, but it was a great show all together, man.
It was a great show, man. Absolutely great show. And Xbot, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's next podcast, man. I'll be in the chat for sure. I appreciate it, buddy. And then I got Cena Bombastic Boom, who actually just said he's canceling movie night with the missus to do another podcast. Don't do it.
No, she would kill me, and there'd be no more Boomstick. She runs the show.
The only podcast you can do after this is Boom and Mrs. Boom. That's about all you're allowed to do.
I think the first time I ever see Crossfire without Boom, I'm gonna be like, "What happened to Boom?" I'm gonna.
You know what happened to Boom? He's locked in his basement.
Yeah.
I'll find him though. I'll get him out. Boom. Let people know where they can find you, brother.
Well, first of all, real quick before we get out of here, I have a real awesome announcement. The audio director of Void Bastards, the strategy shooter coming out on Xbox, is going to be on the Xbox Factor podcast next Thursday. I was able to lock down that interview, and it's amazing because he just finished an interview at GDC with Game Informer, so I feel even more excited that a little channel like mine was able to score such a big dev.
I'm telling you, it's the Mohawk, man.
Yeah, maybe it's the Mohawk, but
it hurt.
Well, it didn't. It actually helped while I was a cop. It really did. Humanized me with the public. I really enjoyed about wearing. I got in a lot of trouble for it. The bosses didn't like it, but I did, so I always wore it anyway. But getting back to me, listen. If you want to, hit me up on Twitter, please. The DM is open. I speak with everyone. I'm nearing 3,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm excited for that.
All right.
And check out the channel. If the Double Barrel Gaming, lots of live content next week. 3 live shows: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Gaming news at noon with Salty and Boom on Wednesday. The Xbox Factor podcast on Thursday, and Breakfast with Boom on the 19th. It's going to be great. So check out the channel. I'm guaranteeing you're going to enjoy the content.
I appreciate it, Boom, and great plug. Outstanding, man. It's great to have that you've just excelled. Your channel's doing great. You're getting big guests, big celebrities. Brad Sams, awesome stuff, man. Great stuff going on. And I'm very proud of you, Boom. Very proud of you.
Well, again, I take it all the way back to you. You opened the door for me. I asked to be on. You let me on, and it was magic, dude.
That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to, guys. It's enthusiasm and it's passion, you know? And that's why Boom's excelling. It's why Salt's excelling. It's why anybody that keeps coming every week to a channel continues to do well. You know why? Because you guys in the audience realize who loves gaming and why we're here. You know, one of the main things, I'll do a quick little segment real quick. One of the reasons that I do this personally, I only speak for myself, nobody on the panel, but I truly enjoy talking to the audience.
Me too.
I do, you know, and I do Twitch now because it's a one-on-one with each gamer. It's playing the game myself with the audience, and I love coming on every week. I do multiple podcasts a week because I love to do it. I love gaming. And I'll do a quick little promo here. Crap couldn't be here because he had to leave early. He had some
Crap Gamer reviews.
But Crap Gamer reviews. And a lot of you guys are really tough on the man. Let me tell you something. The man's a gamer, okay? Realize that. Understand it. He does have opinions. We're all human, okay? We're all gamers. We're all people. At the end of the day, everybody behind this mic is a genuine gamer and a human being. So I think that we've all learned a lot since 2013, me being one of them. If we can all learn something, let's understand that everyone comes on here and gives everybody a great amount of entertainment, enjoyment, and passion every week. So let's be kind, let's be courteous, and let's think before we tweet. Okay, let's think before we act and say things. Because in all honesty, myself included, you will retract those and regret them later. So let's think moving forward. Let's enjoy what we're doing. Let's enjoy the games. And let's keep yelling on Friday nights, guys. We'll see you guys next week, all right? I thank everybody so much, and it means a lot. Great panel, great chat. We'll do it again next week. Thank you, guys, and good night.
Good night, everybody.